Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Wembley Stadium for the 140th FA Cup final, live from Wembley. It's Chelsea against Leicester City. Leicester City appearing in their fifth FA Cup final, having lost on four previous occasions, the latest being 1969 when Manchester City beat them in the final. Previous to that, 63 when Manchester United and Sir Matt Busby beat them. Chelsea back in the final, having lost last year. They have been serial winners of the FA Cup for the last sort of 40 years or so. Or the 50 years. It's 50 years or 51 years since they first won it way back in 1970. Then in those days, they all went to replays, played at neutral venues as opposed to Wembley now. And the other good thing about all this afternoon is the fact that we've got supporters in as well, looking in on the game. It is absolutely electric. It's fantastic, and it's nice to see. And it's also nice to see supporters there as well. What a fantastic atmosphere building up for this final. 22,000 reportedly are going to be with us this afternoon. And it is absolutely electric here. Just to remind you, elsewhere on YouTube and our sister channels, we've got Trevor Sports, Premier League Matchday 36, 4 matches for you to chew over on Trevor Sports tonight, including Manchester United's match with Leicester, which is the game I'll be doing, and Russ has got West Brom, Liverpool. Amongst others. I don't know what the other two are going, but we'll have to see. But what an atmosphere building up into the stadium. We'll have all the pre-match pomp as well, Abide With Me, and all the other stuff that, of course, goes with that. Abide With Me, one of the most emotional moments in cup finals as well. And Trevor's on. Trevor's on. Hello to you, Trev. Yes, hopefully we'll get a proper cup final this afternoon. Leicester, to the record, are all in maroon. Chelsea have won the coin toss for colours, and they will wear blue this afternoon. So we're just waiting for Abide With Me and all the pre-match pomp that goes with it. Of course, Prince William is there, the head honcho of the Football Association. What a few weeks he's had to endure the death of his grandfather and things like that. But of course, Prince Philip, of course, was a very great supporter of the FA for many, many years. Was present at so many cup finals down the years. But let's see what happens here this afternoon. They're just we're about 15 minutes away from kick-off here at Wembley, or we're due to be 15 minutes away from kick-off here at Wembley Stadium. And the tension here is building up. We're due to finish at around about quarter to 8 this evening. I should also remind you at this point that this has to be settled on the afternoon, either through 90 minutes or through penalties, or 90 minutes or extra time or penalties. One way or the other, we will get a decision this afternoon as regards the extra time. So we really are looking forward to this. No news ticker because it's just a cup final that we'll be concentrating on. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see the scoreboard, and we'll update all the latest scores as we get them here at Wembley this afternoon. But a great atmosphere, tension really building now for this 140th FA Cup final. The first, of course, played back in 1872 when the Wanderers beat the Royal Engineers in that very first final. I can't remember it, obviously, but apparently it was a very good game, I'm told, in those days. So we're just waiting for the arrival, or for the Abide. As soon as we get wind of Abide With Me, we'll bring that to you, of course. We'll give you all the pre-match flavour to a traditional cup final. And I should also apologise. We were due on the air at 4:45 this afternoon due to me running around like an headless chicken around Wembley Stadium to get into my commentary position and just complete one or two notes. We've had to We had to put it back by some 10 minutes, but we are in place. The one thing I don't actually know of is the VAR officials. So what we'll do is, as soon as I find out who the FA Cup final official is, the VAR man, because I think we've got VAR in operation for this afternoon's final. So we'll try and look for that one. As regards that, and then our preparation is all done. I've got a lot of stats in my head. And what a final. I think this will be a great. I think this is going to be a great final. And the good thing is, no Manchester City in this game. Otherwise, we'd have been talking about a potential quadruple. They do meet Chelsea in the Champions League final. And Chris Kavanagh, I'm told, is going to be the VAR. And assisted by Sean Massey Ellis, who will make history alongside him following her appointment as assistant VAR. So Sean Massey Ellis breaking down barriers in the game of football at the moment, and great as well. And terrific atmosphere it should be. So Michael Oliver from County Durham, one of our top referees. He's also going to be one of our referees at the forthcoming European Championships next month, of course. And it should be an absolute brilliant. Of course, the two assistants are Stuart Burt and Simon Bennett. As the atmosphere gets now towards fever pitch. And Stuart Atwell will be the fourth official this afternoon. So the Coldstream Guards, of course, and you may have seen on Football Focus earlier this lunchtime that they played the grandstand theme tune, which brought back a few memories of me growing up watching the cup final as a young kid. In those days, the build-up used to last more than the football match itself. But the atmosphere is superb. It's building up to a real crescendo here. So we've got all the officials sorted out. I've got one or two stats in my head. Leicester's first final since 1969 is almost upon us. I was also talking to Russ Burnham, who's here for the newly renamed commentary hub this afternoon, and we were swapping notes and swapping stuff. Our teams also played each other in the league game, in the Premier League game at lunchtime, and a resounding 4-0 victory for Leeds United. Could have been 5 or 6. Burnley were terrible, but we'll talk about that another day. It's all about the cup final, a terrific occasion in the football calendar. Regrettably, we didn't do it last year because of obviously the COVID stuff, but this year we've got fans back, we've got everybody back, and we're back this year, and we're back with a huge bang. And what a game it promises to be. 22,000 here at Wembley. It's just nice to see people inside the stadium. It's great. And of course, the Premier League next in midweek, when they play their penultimate round of games, will also have supporters in the stadium. Burnley have got 5,000 coming to Turf Moor on Wednesday when they take on Liverpool in an 8 o'clock kick-off match. And I have to say, it's been a remarkable season, certainly in terms of the way things have gone. Of course, the European Cup final takes place 2 weeks tonight. It takes place now in Portugal as opposed to Wembley. There was a lot of talk that Wembley was going to be the venue for this, but for the final, but it didn't materialise. And of course, we've got our comment section open for business as well. So we're just waiting for Abide With Me to be played out, and then of course we will go through the pomp, and of course we'll go through all the ceremonies, the introduction of the teams to Prince William, the president of the FA, and I think we're all set to almost now for one of the most traditional cup final moments of the day, and it's always an emotional moment. Abide With Me, been sung at every post-World Cup final since 1947. And the Coldstream Guards down below me getting ready to tune their brass instruments and get going again. And I'm here to comment on the game, but I'm going to do my best to put JB off and make him laugh. Well, we need a bit of banter, Trevor, and yes, you always make me laugh. But we need a good, but you know, this is what cup finals all about. It's about having a laugh and enjoying the match. And hopefully today we'll get a good open final. I think we might get it with these two sides, the way that they play. Thomas Tuchel has been a revelation since joining Chelsea and replacing Frank Lampard in real life, of course. In the Trevor Sports Universe, it's still Frank Lampard. Let me clear up all that confusion. In the Trevor Sports Universe, it's still Frank who's in charge. But in the real world, which we're concentrating on today, it's Thomas Tuchel who's the manager. And what a job he has done. To beat Manchester City in that semi-final nearly a month ago was no mean feat. Now can he get up and win the cup for Chelsea, who have been serial cup winners certainly over the last sort of 2 decades. As for Leicester, their first final in 52 years. 1969 was the last time they got to the final. Gary Lineker, who's here today, working for a well-known television company, you know who I'm talking about. He was 8 years old and he went to that game and he went home in floods of tears. It's a great occasion, a proud moment for Leicester City. But now we're going to just cross now to the singing of Abide With Me. And beautifully sung by everybody there, the choirs and everyone there, the Coldstream Guards. It's a superb match to be involved with. I can't wait for the kickoff of this final. It's going to be a terrific final. We're just awaiting the arrival of the two teams here. And what a great cup final this is going to be. Terrific atmosphere. Over 700 teams started on the road to Wembley back in August when they just finished playing their previous year's final. Now, tantalising 2 remain for a chance to win the world's greatest cup competition. The FA Cup final It's always something to enjoy. It's always something to be shared. And on Cup Final day, there's nothing better to touch it for drama. And, of course, no replays now in the final. That's been abolished since '93, of course. But the FA Cup final is one of the greatest occasions in sport. As the FA Cup there is going to be paraded in front of the tunnel. The teams are making their way down. The Coldstream Guards are there in full flight as well. Tremendous occasion. People, Leicester fans there with their masks on. It's absolutely superb there. Leicester and Chelsea represented. Well, we know that one team in blue will win the cup, but which one? Well, whoever's got the job of tying the ribbons on hasn't got a bad job anyway, because he'll be probably made redundant today, because both teams naturally have blue. But of course, Leicester have to change to their maroon. But they're appearing in their first FA Cup final since 1969, when incidentally they were wearing blue that particular day. The top tier, in fact, is not in use. You can still see the banners above me in the commentary box there, as the FA Cup is now being taken out from the tunnel towards the stand where the plinth is waiting for the cup. It's moments like this that make you want to be a football supporter. The FA Cup, the oldest and the most prestigious cup competition in the world. People talk about Champions League and little things like that, but you try and tell anybody that the FA Cup doesn't matter, even in this day and age, because I tell you now, it really does. And here come the arrival of the two teams, led by referee Michael Oliver. Leicester City on the left and Chelsea on the right. Brendan Rodgers in the traditional cup final combat. As for Thomas Tuchel, he's in a raincoat, or a real puffer jacket raincoat, as the teams come out to a sea of fireworks and fire pyrotechnics. That's great now, the cup finalists in modern times. Usually it used to be at the right-hand end of Wembley, and they come out of the tunnel, the old tunnel end at the old Wembley, but it's now from the halfway line. Leicester City, obviously the underdogs, as we see Prince William there, the president of the Football Association. He's going to greet the two sides. And of course, it's all being done socially distanced, of course. Cesar Azpilicueta is the Chelsea captain. There's Christian Pulisic, Jorginho, Reece James in his first FA Cup final. N'Golo Kante has done it all before. Riza Balaga has been there before. And there's Thomas Tuchel in his first major domestic final. And what an atmosphere it's going to be for him. And he'll have had I'm sure, like any other cup final manager in years gone by, he would have had very nervous tensions. So will Brendan Rodgers, Kasper Schmeichel there, Söyüncü, Johnny Evans there, Ayoze Perez in his first cup final, Castagna, number 3 there. What a moment for Fofana and young Thomas as well, and Jamie Vardy, who's played in every single round of the cup. In his early career, he was playing in the preliminary rounds. But now he's at the biggest stage of all, and can he win a cup finals medal in the autumn of his career? But before the action here at Wembley Stadium this afternoon, we're going to have the national anthem. Well, in just a second or two, Becky Hill is now going to sing the national anthem. And beautifully sung by Becky Hill. Terrific singer, terrific soprano, and getting a good reception from the supporters. Tremendous atmosphere then. There may be 22,000, but I'll tell you, it sounds like 70,000 here this afternoon. Let me tell you. Right, as the teams now will break out to their respective ends, let us give you a rundown of the two teams then. Starting with Chelsea with Kepa Arrizabalaga in goals for them. Oh, and then it's a back three of Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Antonio Rudiger. And then four in the midfield with Reece James, N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, and Marcos Alonso. Then two attacking midfielders, that's Hakim Ziyech, who could take some set pieces later on perhaps, and Mason Mount. And then up front, Timo Werner. Wouldn't it be a typical day for him to score or break his Chelsea duck? For Leicester City, captain Schmeichel in goals for them, following his father's footsteps by playing in an FA Cup final for the first time. Fofana, Evans, and Söyüncü the back three. Johnny Evans has played in cup finals before for Manchester United. Castagna, Tillemans, Ndidi, and young Thomas. What a moment for him coming through the system here at the King Power. Ayoze Perez will play as the attacking midfielder, the former Newcastle man. And Jamie Vardy and Kenichi Iheanacho, who's been in terrific form, will be the main strike force for Leicester City today. So we're all set then for this FA Cup final. The referee today, as we look at the substitutes. We look at the substitutes very quickly. Mendy, Pulisic, Zuma, Giroud, Hudson-Odoi, Chilwell, Gilmore, Havertz and Emerson, Ward, Morgan, Madison, Albrighton and Marty, Chowdhury, Pereira, Mendy and Pratt, the Leicester City subs. The referee today for this one today is Michael Oliver from County Durham, a really good referee who's had a very good season and will be the referee at the forthcoming European Championships coming up next month, of course, with all the big England occasions being here at Wembley. Two assistants today, Stuart Burt and Simon Bennett. Fourth official, Stuart Atwell. Our VAR referee today is Chris Kavanagh, and Sean Macialis will be his assistant this afternoon. And Jamie Vardy, last words of encouragement from him. Leicester in all maroon, Chelsea all in blue. The 140th FA Cup final is almost upon us, and we've got supporters in. May only be 22,000, but I tell you, it sounds like 60,000 here today. So Leicester to kick off in maroon. They take the knee. And then this 140th FA Cup final, sponsored by Emirates, will be up and running. And away we go. Leicester kicking off. And they're attacking the goal to my left-hand side. And the ball already out of play for an early throw-in then for Chelsea. Of course, Chelsea red-hot favourites to win the FA Cup. As here's Timo Werner straight away through and away from Johnny Evans, but he's got nobody in the centre. Crosses in from the right and well put away there by Kasper Schmeichel. But that looks a very promising attack there from Chelsea and Timo Werner in particular, as Schmeichel now kicks long down the field. That should be Rudiger's. And one stat that won't be, the one FA Cup final statistic that will not be surpassed today is the fact that Louis Saha's record of 30 seconds scored in the 2009 final will not be surpassed this afternoon. So we've gone past the 50-second mark. So the quickest goal can't happen. We could still have the quickest we could still have a hat-trick. The last man to score a hat-trick in a cup final was Stan Mortensen all the way back in 1953. Goal kick to Chelsea, which Arrizabalaga will take. There's Brendan Rodgers. He's won Scottish Cups before, of course, in his days at Celtic, but he's never won a domestic honour in this country. Came so mighty close in his Liverpool days to winning the Premier League in 2014 when they won that 3-goal lead against Crystal Palace. Now then, a chance here for Werner, far side. On the right-hand side, Werner crosses it back. Ziyech was waiting in the middle, and Fofana got back, and Johnny Evans, so much big game experience under Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United, showing a very cool head. And in fact, Leicester have drawn the first free kick of the game. Thomas Tuchel, very casual, puffer jacket on, a la Arsene Wenger a few years ago. Leicester's first FA Cup final since 1969 when they lost to a goal from Manchester City from Neil Young. And of course, the first domestic cup final of any sort since the year 2000 at the old Wembley when they beat Tranmere Rovers in the final of what was then known as the Worthington Cup. Now, of course, the Carabao Cup competition, of course. Here's a mistake there by Soyuncu, but Castagna was following up and the ball back to Schmeichel, following his father's footsteps. Of course, he's now won the FA Cup 3 times, 1994, 1996, and, of course, 99 when they won the treble that year, of course. I'm sure Trevor and everyone else will not need me to remind them of that. And here's Arrizabalaga. And Reece James. Big moment for some of these younger players as well, mainly for the Leicester players. Vardy's onside there. I had to check. The cross came in, but it was beyond in and out show, and Arrizabalaga put that one out the air. Good start, good open field to this cup final. I think we could be in for, without putting the mockers on it, a real classic, I hope. As I say, as I've said in the build-up, 2 teams that really do like to attack, and I think we could have just that this afternoon. Alonso to take the throw in then for Chelsea in blue. They also have white socks, I should also add. They're not all in blue today. They do have white socks on, I should point out. That was a poor ball given away here. Chance here for Leicester to charge forward. They've no Harvey Barnes in the squad. He's out through injury, so what a desperate moment for young Harvey Barnes, the son of former Burnley striker Paul. Would have been a great moment for him. Maddison has not made the 11. It's a big responsibility on number 33, young Thomas. I think he's going to have a big game, I feel, today. But when you're the underdog, the pressure's not so much on them. But they've lost 4 times previously. Of course, they lost in 63, Leicester to Manchester United, of course. As Mount now comes forward now for Chelsea. And he checks back inside Sionchu and checks him again. It's a cracking atmosphere here at Wembley now. As CH gets the ball midway inside the Leicester half. Feeds Marcos Alonso. Alonso just checks. And Castagna was the defender in front of him. And that's a good ball in there. And no foul there on Alonso. Good play there from Fofana. Got back there, did really well and hooked it away, left down the Leicester right, but it's back with Chelsea again, the London side. And Kante now finds Alonso. Left-hand side, back in field to Kante, who goes in field to Jorginho. Jorginho now onto Reece James. And James has the possession. Ball out on the far side. Mount has got possession here. Werner waits in the middle if he decides to cross it. Still 0-0. And Jorginho from Azpilicueta's pass. And Kante now. And now Azpilicueta, the captain. Cross gets deflected and it's the first corner of the match. We've played 5 minutes. Leicester 0, Chelsea 0 in this 140th FA Cup final live here only on JB Sports. Earlier today, Burnley 0, Leicester, Leeds United 4 in the Premier League and Southampton 3, Fulham 1. They were Premier League scores. And, of course, Brighton have their match to come at 8 o'clock tonight at the Amex Stadium. In the cup final, the 140th, Reece James is going to take it. Right-footed into the penalty area it goes, up towards Azpilicueta, I should say, and it's out for another throw-in this time for Chelsea, and Azpilicueta to take this one. I keep getting him and Kepa Arrizabalaga's names mixed up. Anyway, here's Mount inside the area. Goes down. No foul. Has played at Wembley before, Mason Mount. Played in last year's cup final and played in the playoffs 2 years ago for Derby County when they lost to Aston Villa when Frank Lampard was the manager there. And it's sad to see Derby County where they are at the moment. They were 2 years ago. They were looking good under Frank Lampard for promotion. 2 years later under Wayne Rooney, they just about survived relegation. Sheffield Wednesday went down at their expense. As the ball comes forward and it's out towards Mount again, he's going to have plenty to say, Mason Mount, and that's Soyuncu. And Chelsea win another corner. Of course, we'll have the Man of the Match award to bring you as well. We're going to have a special JB Man of the Match vote as well. So, of course, as it's a cup final, we'll bring out the special FA Cup man of the match as well, and we'll get you guys involved, as we always do on every game we bring you here on JB Sports, but more often than not on Cup Final Day. It's absolutely essential that we give you something to think about on Cup Final Day as well. And hope you're enjoying the coverage this afternoon. Anyway, free corner kick to Chelsea, which Akam Ziyech will take from the far side. Right footed in, it goes towards the area. Alonso was waiting. James has got it on the left-hand side of the box. A little chip in there towards the penalty area. And up goes Thiago Silva. The ball comes now to Akam Ziyech. Good tackle there by young Thomas there, and that'll do his confidence a world of good. And a free kick has been given to Leicester City, just level with their own penalty area on the far side. To a few nice cheers from the Leicester City contingent away to my left-hand side. There's Brendan Rodgers. What a smashing job he's done. When they lost Ranieri, they tried Craig Shakespeare. That didn't work. They tried Claude Perel. He didn't cut the mustard. They took on Brendan Rodgers, and he's got them winning an ace of the top four each time. I'm sure, and still one or two of Claudio's boys are still in there, including Jamie Vardy. Will it be a dilly-dong day for Leicester, I wonder, in the words of Claudio Ranieri. Of course, if they win the cup, I'm sure they'll dedicate it to their late owner and chairman, who died in that helicopter crash some 3 years ago in a game I actually covered for JB Sports. Just come off the mic that night, and Russ rang me and said there was a helicopter crash, and it was really sad to see. And the football world really mourned for a good few weeks after that. But it'd be nice if Leicester won the cup in his honour. Anyway, here back with the game, and it's Azpilicueta now to Kante. Kante now inside to Jorginho. Still in the Leicester half at the moment. Most of the game has actually been played exclusively in the Leicester half. Akam Ziyech has possession now towards the left touchline, where Alonso is hugging it at the moment. Rudiger now with a loose ball to Wilfred Ndidi. Now on to Vardy. Now a chance for Jose Perez to get forward. And now a chance for young Thomas to hit that one long forward and ask Vardy to chase that if he can. And and the ball just beats both him and Reece James out of play. And a goal kick to Chelsea as we come past the 9.5 minute mark of the first half here at Wembley Stadium in the 2021 Emirates FA Cup final, the 140th FA Cup final in the competition's massive, illustrious history. Keep commenting in the comment section. Keep telling me how you're enjoying the Cup final day, and who do you think might win the cup today? Make your predictions as well in the comments. We'd like to hear from you, folks. Who do you fancy winning the cup? I know Ewan said he wants Leicester to have a shot at winning it. No foul there inside the Leicester half. Now the ball's over the halfway line with Vardy. Back to Jose Perez. So it's back in the Leicester half, essentially. Fofana now has possession. Finds out Tillemans. Then back to Fofana. And I'm sure Mr. Lineker watching now. I wonder if he'll present match of the day in his underwear if they win the cup this year, early next season, if they win the cup today. I haven't seen anything on his Twitter account suggesting that, but be interesting, wouldn't it? Anyway, Akam Ziyech now for Chelsea. Back to the serious business. And here he gets the ball from Jorginho. Hits a long ball forward, but it's very aimless. And Kasper Schmeichel all in fluorescent, I would say, sort of yellowish green. And takes possession of the ball. We've had 11 minutes here at Wembley. Chelsea 0, Leicester 0 in the cup final. Remember, Leicester lost the toss for colours. And they played their change strip of all maroon. Chelsea playing their red shirt with their blue shirts, blue shorts and white stockings. And the foul there against Soyuncu there. Michael Ober from County Durham. Big summer for him, of course. One of England's representatives, one of the FA's representative to go to the European Championships, which is taking place, as you well know, folks, around Europe this year, which can only be a good thing. It's to celebrate the European Championship's 60th anniversary, of course, this summer. It should have been last summer, actually, but It's to celebrate 60 years of European Championships. As Tielemans fouls Jorginho right on halfway, just inside the centre circle. And Chelsea get on with the free kick straight away. And Pulisic tangling there, and N'Golo Kante picks up the pieces. Now, still inside the Leicester half, the ball comes off Ndidi and out of play on the far side for a throw-in to Chelsea. 12 and a half minutes almost gone in the 2021 FA Cup final. Live from JB Sports from Wembley Stadium. Here's Antonio Rudiger down the near side now for Leicester, their left-hand side. Alonso was a little bit isolated on the overlap. Jorginho picks up the ball, plays the ball forward, cut out there by Castagna, and now another opportunity for Alonso, and he's found Ziyech, who's turned Castagna again. The ball will be out of play, and Thomas lets it quite rightly go out of play for a throw-in. So we've reached the 13 minutes mark of the cup final. Still Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Well, Leicester 0, Chelsea 0. We've got it as. First half commentary live. Yeah, we'll have all the match now, and we will stay with you until the very end, either through 90 minutes, extra time, or maybe penalties. If it ends a draw, there is extra time to be played. If it's lower after that, we will have a penalty shootout to decide the identity of the winners, and the trophy, I'm told, will be presented by Prince William when at the end of the match this afternoon. Out to play for a throw, attempted long ball towards the far side, and Cesar Azpilicueta. So still 0-0 as we come towards the 14th minute of the first half. There's Thomas Tuchel and Brendan Rodgers. They're both giving out instructions, waving their arms around almost like traffic wardens. And of course, wherever you're enjoying this down the pub, or if you're listening to this down the pub or at home or at work, you're in for a real treat here on JB Sports this afternoon. Here is Antonio Rudiger trying a speculative right-footed shot from something like 35 yards out, just to the left there. He's got a protective face mask on because he's got a facial injury, Antonio Rudiger, as he tries the audacious shot. Of course, this is not Chelsea's only cup final this season. Of course, 2 weeks from now, I've got to go to Portugal to play in the European Cup final against Manchester City. And they won't want to be going out to that on the back of a humiliating defeat to Leicester City in the cup final today if they can help it. But an amazing set of circumstances. And I just want to thank for everyone that's taken part in our FA Cup coverage, including Chris and Treb and Russ, along the way to Wembley. You've all been a shining beacon of light. We'll have you back for our FA Cup coverage next year as well. And just to remind you that we'll be scaling commitments, live commentaries. The Premier League commentaries that you'll hear on JB Sports will still be on JB Sports, but they'll be via Football Commentary Hub. The Commentary Hub next year, because we're going to stream all my matches on there onto JB Sports. So you'll still hear Premier League football on JB Sports, but we'll be doing it in conjunction with the Commentary Hub. As Castagna now running down the near side. The ball played in. Vardy with a chance inside the area, and he couldn't get there. And Iheanacho was there too, and that would have been a dream moment for Jamie Vardy. Just couldn't catch it right, and it was charged away by Thiago Silva in the end. But Leicester there getting in behind Castagna, who I watched at the start of the season against West Brom, and he looks so superb. And Vardy there, in fact, it was Reece James who got the block in. And it had to be a good block because Vardy caught that rather sweetly, I thought. Of course, the two competitions that we'll be doing homegrown commentary on JB Sports will be the Champions League and the FA Cup next season, plus a smattering of League Cup action as well. But the Premier League matches will be done via the Commentary Hub. Of course, we'll have we'll have other sports as well. So I'll be joining Barry and Mercer's little enterprise for the league games next season, but you'll be able to still hear the commentaries on JB Sports next season in the Premier League. But as regards our own productions, it's FA Cup, Champions League, any European competition, and the cup ties next season. So it's all about them for us next season. As Chelsea go forward and they won a free kick. Johnny Evans, the culprit there, foul there on Timo Werner. What a day it could be for him if he was to notch up a rare goal. Hasn't had his best of seasons with Chelsea. It's always difficult when you're adapting to a new country and all that sort of thing. It's always very difficult to put that all together, really. But maybe when he's had it, obviously acclimatised, not playing any supporters, that also doesn't help the cause. But he's got supporters now, and he will not, I'm sure, not want to let them down. Free scoring in his days at Red Bull Leipzig, of course. Timo Werner, as Alonso now takes possession on the left-hand side. Feeds Hakim Ziyech, and he's lost possession there. And Castagna now to Iheanacho, but Iheanacho quite comprehensively dispossessed by Marcos Alonso, who once actually turned out for Bolton Wanderers when they were a Premier League club a dozen years ago. As Jorginho now takes possession. 70% possession, folks, for Chelsea, 30% for Leicester, but no great surprise because Chelsea are the overwhelming favourites with the bookies. But you can't back against Leicester City. They're in their first cup final in 51 years. Lost out in 69, of course. As Iheanacho goes down there. Under challenge there from Antonio Rudiger. Jorginho plays the ball in. Should be Schmeichel's, and he's just had to take it on the bounce a little bit there, Kasper Schmeichel. It's a bit of a greasy top as well. There's been quite a little bit of rain in London this last few hours, so it's not exactly cup final weather. Usually it's warm and sunny and perfectly dry. Not so today. It's quite breezy, quite chilly. Quite chilly, of course, and well, conditions can play a part in these cup finals, I have to tell you. Meanwhile, Iheanacho has what a free kick there. Thiago Silva handball. It's rained so much that the roof at Trevor Vision Centre is leaking. I hope you don't lose the tape for Match of the Day later on, Trev. Otherwise, we will be up the creek without a paddle. What we're going to do for Saturday night entertainment then? Don't forget, on Trevor's channel later on, we've got a Match of the Day Premier League special. I'll tell you a little bit about that a little bit later because Leicester now have a chance with a free-kick situation. And the fans are waving their scarves about at the other end, but it's going to be Thomas. No, it's going to be Tielemans to float it in towards the far side. And the header goes over from Son Heung-chu. And over it went. And the goal kick, it is to Chelsea. But Leicester really making themselves a good couple of half chances there. Son Heung-chu, a very good header there. Good free kick, in fact. I think Arrizabalaga would have had that, to be perfectly honest. We run a repeat of Trev gear. Anyway, as I was saying earlier, just then, as the ball comes forward, we'll get a breaking play and then we'll tell you about what's coming up. We've got 4 highlights from in the Trevor Sports universe of match day 36 of the Premier League, and it involves Manchester United and Liverpool amongst 2 of the clubs, and it will focus more on the title race in the Trevor Sports universe, which has got a sort of a four-way battle at the moment. And of course, in the Trevor Sports universe, in early June, they will have our own version of the FA Cup final, which again I'll be commentating on. Leicester are involved in that one. The only difference between real life and the Trevor Sports universe, that their opponents on that particular occasion will be Liverpool. So plenty of good stuff coming up on Trevor Sports as well, especially tonight. 4 matches with commentary coming your way at 8:30 when we're finished here at Wembley Stadium. Hakim Ziyech now wins possession here for Chelsea, but he can't find Timo Werner. And Johnny Evans will get back and mop up the pieces and get it back to Kasper Schmeichel. We've just come past to the 21.5-minute mark of the first half, coming up towards the halfway point. And still no breakthrough yet in this 140th Cup final from Wembley Stadium. Jorginho wins possession, but then indeed he was very close at hand to him and got in a very good tackle there. The ball now over to the far side and Ndidi. Ndidi keeping possession remarkably so. It's been a terrific final, but just needs a goal really, or a massive chance really for it to really come to the boil here. And Ziyech now with a cross into the penalty area. Chances here for Chelsea. Alonso goes down. Referee Oliver didn't actually want to know, and maybe I think on balance that was a very much a good decision there. And Jorginho now picks up the loose ball. We've come past the halfway mark of the first half. 22 and a half minutes gone here at Wembley Stadium. The 140th FA Cup final is starting to come to the party. And Mount now has the shot and just wide from Mason Mount. Left-footed. Just missed the far right-hand post and only missed it by a whisker. And we could have had the first goal in the cup final here of 2021. It was Mason Mount getting the ball, running about 10 yards, getting to the edge of the penalty box, just inside the D as he strikes this. And Michael was scrambling across his goal to his left-hand side and just past the right-hand post. In fact, I think it might have got a slight deflection. That's how Mr. Michael Oliver, the referee, saw it. Now the rain is teaming it down in steroids. It's not your typical cup final weather. It's usually sunny and warm. It's not so today. It's absolutely pouring down. It's torrential rain as that ball comes in. It'll be tough for goalkeepers, of course. Kasper Schmeichel up to the challenge, and he gets the ball away, looking towards Kenichi in that show, but he's lost out that time. But the ball is out of play, and it will be a throw-in to Leicester City. 24 minutes almost gone. Chelsea now having a couple of good opportunities. This cup final slowly away is beginning to boil, as we thought it might. Can we find a goal somewhere here in this final? If Leicester do win, despite them being much higher than Chelsea for most of the season, it would be considered as a shock because of Chelsea's all the success they've had in the 16 years or so that Roman Abramovich has been the owner of the club. All the trophies that they won, umpteen FA Cups, umpteen Premier Leagues, several League Cups, the European Cup and the Europa League, all won under Abramovich's stewardship. They have a chance to win their second one in a fortnight's time from now in Portugal when they take on Manchester City, looking for their very first. In their first European final since 1970 when they won the European Cup Winners' Cup. Actually won the League Cup that year as well, City. They've also won the League Cup this year as well. That might be an omen. But here's a chance now for Tielemans, who lines the shot up, hits the defender, breaks to Jose Perez again, deep inside the Chelsea territory. Chelsea half, I should say, really. And here comes Hakim Ziyech now, who takes it down towards the Chelsea left-hand side. And then Werner, who's absolutely been poleaxed there by Wilfred Ndidi, and the referee just gives a free kick. We hopefully will not see any red cards in the cup final. In the olden days, it was custom to keep a full complement of 22 players on the field, just owing to the amount, just the fact that we didn't even have any substitutes. Even 60 years ago, there was no such thing as substitutes. Even as much as 40 years ago, there was only one sub allowed in any one game. But thankfully, we've got times have changed in the last 40 years. And we've got around about 8 substitutes. Kevin Moran, yes, Kevin Moran. And I thought that was a dubious decision. Peter Willis was the first man ever to show a red card in an FA Cup final. And he came from the same parts of... as our referee today, incidentally, Michael Oliver. He came from County Durham. He was, he gave a red card in that final. Didn't have a very good game as the referee that day. I watched a recording of the final in recent months, and it wasn't a great final. It was Manchester United and Everton, but it was best remembered not just for that sending off, but a terrific goal scored by Norman Whiteside in the second half of extra time. Here's Werner now looking to make his own history, and he shoots way over the top of the bar. Mere sliced the shot as he struck it. And I think that typifies the sort of season he's actually had in a Chelsea shirt. It has taken him a long time to acclimatise here. Just picking up the ball here. Must have been about 30 yards out. Normally he would bury those sorts of chances, the German, but this is a cup final. And this is the sort of occasion where it's always going to be that way inclined, but we'll have to see now. Yeah, good conversion, 3 points to Wigan. Here's Werner again. Thought he might have a go here. Plays it out to the left-hand side. See, it chips the ball in towards the far stick, and away it goes. It's only half away by Sionchu, who concedes the throw-in. Yep, 3 points to Wigan, that one. Unfortunately, it's not rugby league or union. It's a football game, and we play with a round ball as opposed to an oval ball. Just to remind you, Leeds won 4-0 at Burnley. And that's all I'm saying on the matter. And, of course, Southampton beating already relegated Fulham as well. Brighton play at 8 o'clock tonight. That's the Premier League in the cup final with 28 minutes gone. No score, but a Chelsea corner, which Hakim Ziyech will take. I'll take it from the far side, the right-hand side. Some anxious looks on Leicester City faces. Of course, they're all wearing face masks in the ground, of course, to comply with COVID rules and regulations. Here comes the corner from Ziyech into the area, away from danger there by Johnny Evans. And it's the highest attendance we've had for some 14 months at any game. As the ball comes in there, Thiago knocks the ball back. Chance here for Thiago, chips it in there, and the header goes wide. Werner went for it, and then Aspilicueta came for it as well. Werner had the first bite, missed it, and it came very quickly to Aspilicueta, who was right at the back post and just couldn't get a header on it. It was a lovely chip cross back there. Oh, dear me. I have to say, I think that you could have said it was a flick on by Werner and Arrizabalaga just a whisker away from getting something on it. And if it just gets the merest of flicks, that's 1-0 to Chelsea, without a shadow of a doubt. It remains 0-0 here in the FA Cup final, but both teams now starting to make opportunities. And I've got a funny feeling that it's not going to be 0-0 for too much longer if this keeps going. Of course, with it being wet conditions, it's going to be tough for goalkeepers. Both Schmeichel and Arrizabalaga's handling will have to be immaculate now for the remaining time it remains. It's still raining bucket loads here at Wembley Stadium. As the ball is now out of play. And still back again with Soyuncu. And still 0-0 here. It's 130th FA Cup, 140th FA Cup final here at Wembley. Ball not forward once again. And the ball there just behind the Chelsea player, and it's out for a throw-in then. And there is the real life match of the day. They've got Leon Osman and Karen Carney as their special guests on Trevor Sports version of Match of the Day. It's Trevor Hansen and Trevor Hill, and they'll be our guests for our virtual look at the cup final on Grandstand in about 2 weeks' time now, maybe 3 weeks' time actually. Now, Johnny Evans has got a slight problem here as we go past the 31-minute mark here at Wembley Stadium. Brendan Rodgers has now put on his rain jacket, and it doesn't look as if Johnny Evans may be able to continue. The physiotherapist is on, so we could have a little bit of time here. And it's a real shame from the game point of view. Not so for Johnny Evans. Of course, his situation has to be paramount at this stage. But the game has been getting into a really good rhythm. But this could be a big blow for Leicester City. Johnny Evans is a man of really vast experience in his days at Manchester United, of course, playing under Sir Alex Ferguson. Harvey Barnes, James Madison there, sorry. Just remind you, if you've joined us live on JB Sports, 0-0 is the score, but I'm afraid Johnny Evans' cup final is over after just 32 minutes. And that is a huge blow for Leicester City. Their most experienced defender is going to have to leave the fray. And on in his place comes Mark O'Brighton, who has been through the trials and tribulations with Leicester City since joining from Aston Villa some 7 years ago. O'Brighton isn't ready to go yet. He will be now. Comes down the steps here at Wembley Stadium. Gets ready to enter the arena now. Johnny Evans with a wave to the crowd, and they're giving him a good reception, the Leicester fans. Sympathetic applause. And now Leicester are going to struggle here now without their biggest, most experienced big game campaigner on the field. Certainly in defensive circles, of course, they've got people like Jamie Vardy, of course, and several other players. But at the moment, it's still 0-0 here in this cup finals. And here comes Mason Mount. And Mount now turns. He finds Alonso, and back to Mount on the overlap. Mount does well down the left-hand side, across just beyond everybody else, and Aspilicueta racing to keep that in on the far side there, and he did a manful job. Coming up towards the last 11 minutes plus stoppage time here at Wembley Stadium in the 2021 FA Cup final, the 140th FA Cup final. Hard to think that it was 40 years since the 100th final, and Ozzy's going to Wembley and his knees are going to tremble. But at the moment, it's Leicester and Chelsea at Wembley, but their knees haven't certainly gone all trembly yet because both sides are banging in, making it tough for each other at the moment. But it's not been a bad watch so far in the first half, and hopefully things will open up that great deal better in the second. I've got no doubts about that as Tielemans gets the ball out towards the far side, and O'Brighton Castagna knocks the ball back, and the ball's been given away to Reece James there, and a real opportunity now for Chelsea to launch something now. Foul there, was there? There's two fouls there. The other second was on Werner by Tim Castagna, and Tim Castagna is the first man into the referee's notepad. Michael Overt says, "Come here, son, you're going in the book." Castagna trying to run away, but he's not going to escape the clutches of Mr. Oliver for too much longer. And he's still beckoning Castagna to come to him. Well, that was the first challenge. I think it might have been for the first challenge rather than the second challenge. Yeah, he played at advantage there, the referee, so he's returned to that. That's what's happened. And then I think indeed he was the second player that penalised or put a foul in. Fofana has actually been booked and not Tim Castagna, as I initially thought. So it's Wesley Fofana has actually been booked and not Timothy Castagna. As Thiago wins possession. We're just coming up towards 9.5 minutes before the break. Post stoppage time at Wembley in the 2021 Emirates FA Cup final, live on JB Sports from Wembley Stadium. As we now come to the business end, of course, and there's actually a game that's actually riding on it for two teams now, a cup and a place possibly in Europa League football next season. That's the prize to the winners of this final today. And it has been a really good watch. It's been an interesting watch. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it at home. Keep commenting on the game as well in the comment section. Here comes Perez now towards the edge of the penalty area on the left-hand side. Has to go back to Wilfred Ndidi. Castagna is there as well, just to the right of the D. Crosses into the area. Hooked away by Jorginho. Then Mount volleys it up towards halfway. Then Soyuncu hits a volleyed up and under, which is headed away by Thiago Silva. Now Leicester having a little bit of a possession of the ball. O'Brighton, it looks as if he's gone to the left-hand side. Plays it in towards Jamie Vardy. And can't be found. Up to way this time towards Pulisic, who's been hassled out of it. Now Tillerman's back to the goalkeeper. Fire Soyuncu. 37 gone here at Wembley Stadium in the 2021 Emirates FA Cup final. And bit of cup final history being made. It's the last cup final to be broadcast not just on free-to-air TV but on pay TV, because BT Sport are streaming their final, showing their final FA Cup match for at least 5 years, as ITV have bought their rights up next season. So the FA Cup will be all shown on terrestrial TV, and what an exciting prospect that's going to be next season for the FA Cup competition. And if there's new faces breaking through in the FA Cup, they will be widely known across the BBC and ITV, of course. And of course, we'll have the cup next year on JB Sports as well. Ziyech has been fouled. Ziyech has fouled his man over on the far side there. Free kick to Leicester. Leicester fans in full cry here. 10,000 each was the allocation, and I think they had to go through ballot to get the tickets, which was something to be amazed about. And of course, there was some Leicester fans at the semi-final where they won, or they beat Southampton. 5 attempts for Chelsea, 3 for Leicester. Not a shot on target yet, but we're getting close now. Oh, Vardy almost got in behind. Brighton might chase the loose ball, but the ball now not forward. And a chance now for Ziyech. And Ziyech turns nicely there. Ziyech now looks for Werner. Werner shoots, hits the defender. Werner again hits the defender again for Fana with 2 brilliant blocks inside the penalty area. One to deny a shot goal bound by Timo Werner with his right foot, and then a right-footed cross. There's another Chelsea player gone down in a heat there. And also Thomas is down on the far side as well. It's Werner who's gone down, the big German. There was a collision between him and Thomas. They were going for the ball. Thomas won the ball, and Werner took out Thomas. This was the first effort. What a good block that is by Wesley Fofana. And then he got back up on his feet and then blocked an attempted cross by Timo Werner. And we're now coming up towards the last 6 minutes. Werner has been booked for his horrible challenge on Thomas. And he now becomes the second victim of referee Oliver's notepad. Because the Leicester fans now look anxiously on their first cup final since 1969. And I'm sure a fair few of Leicester fans who are here today will not remember that. But Mr. Lineker does. 8 years old, and he went home on the train crying his eyes out. I can't imagine Gary Lineker crying his eyes out, can you? Anyway, it's a throw now to Leicester City. 15 yards inside the Chelsea half. And on the far side, still 0-0 here in the cup final of 2021. It's been a decent watch. It's been a good watch, but sadly no goals yet. But we may still get a classic second half, and we hope so. But I should remind you, everybody, that it will be decided today, either through 90 minutes, extra time, or even penalties. Let's hope we don't go that far, but we will extend the programme to bring you all that to you live on JB Sports. Meanwhile, free kick to Leicester City. Their fans watching on. A couple of them there in bandanas and all. They'll keep their hair dry. Yes, Soyuncu. Still 0-0. If you've just joined us in the cup final. Mason Mount's come closest to scoring. And of course, Timo Werner came close as well. Vardy's come close as well, and Soyuncu's come close, but still no shot on target yet in the final. Runningen gets it away. Under pressure, though, from Iheanacho, former Manchester City youngster. Perez has gone down. Free kick to Leicester in a very good position. Jorginho, the offender. And 1 or 2 tasty tackles starting to come in now as we go into the closing stages of the first half. We've got 3.5 minutes to play plus stoppage time at the end of the first 45 minutes of the 140th Emirates FA Cup final. And what an opportunity now for Leicester. Far side, the left-hand side. Castagna and Thomas Robert and Tillemans, the two-man committee. Vardy's there. Castagne's there. It's going to be left for Thomas to swing that in towards Sionchu, who heads it just wide. Decent free kick by young Thomas. Really good free kick. And Sionchu, from around about 12 yards out, just to the left of the penalty spot, just headed it wide. It wasn't going in, to be honest, but it does look closer when you look at it from the naked eye. But when you look at it from another angle or from another replay slow down, it looks a bit further off than what it actually was, if I'm being honest. So still 0-0 in the cup final. Alonso gets it away down the left-hand side up towards the centre circle. And the header's been flicked on, but that should be hooked back towards Kasper Schmeichel. I have to say both defences have looked good. And Leicester haven't really been unduly upset, even despite losing a big game player in Johnny Evans. It's they've certainly not been troubled unduly so far in this opening 43 minutes this afternoon, as the cup final now comes towards half-time. As Tim Castagna now takes possession. Right-hand side for Leicester. Finds old Brighton. Brighton has to go back, and that's a poor ball. Left Tielemans short, and here's Werner now towards the penalty area. Running 10 yards toward the area, and Werner shoots right-footed, but just past the left-hand post. And that's the danger when Leicester give possession away. It was a bad ball from old Brighton. Left Tielemans so down the river. So Tielemans down the river, and then from then on in, Werner had a chance there and just miscued his shot. And in fact, he got a slight deflection off Wes Fofana. I'm not sure if Michael Owen's given a goal kick. He hasn't. It's a corner, so he must have got the slightest nick. And it's Chelsea's 5th corner of the contest. But Werner's having a bit to say for himself in this final. He hasn't scored yet, but he's having a lot to say. We will take a 10-minute break, incidentally, at half-time, so everyone can get their breath back, especially me. Despite it being 0-0, it's been a good watch. Reece James is going to take the corner from the near side. James swings it in very deep towards the back post. It's drifted out of play. And a goal kick it is for Leicester City as we go to the final minute of normal time here at the end of the first half. And we'll just see the picture there of Thomas Tuchel and Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers taking a sip of Volvic mineral water. Other mineral waters, of course, available to buy at your local corner shop. We're not at any corner shop today. We're at the Cathedral Football Wembley Stadium for the FA Cup final here live on JB Sports. And so far, it's Chelsea nil, Leicester City nil, in the 140th version of the final. Leicester in their first final since 1969. And, of course, Chelsea back to the scene of their FA Cup crash last year when they lost 2-1 to Arsenal, having took the lead through Pulisic. Ball played in there. Vardy with a header, and Vardy heads it just wide. Vardy heads it just wide at the far post, the far left-hand post. We move into stoppage time, and Chelsea almost committed defensive suicide. The ball chipped forward. Vardy was onside, and there was the nearest of headers, but I think Arisa Balaga would have had it covered anyway as we move into the first 20 seconds of 2 added minutes and the end of what's been a fairly competitive first half, decent competitive first half, but not one shot yet on target. There have been efforts that have just gone narrowly wide, so it's not been without chances. We've had about 9 or 10 chances, but none thus far have been on target. But it's been a decent watch. Well, no, it's not been a bad watch. Ball not forward by Sionchu, cut out by Reece James. And now Chianti gets it now 10 yards inside the Leicester half. We've played almost 1 minute of the 2. And we're going to play Trevor's halftime snap bingo, folks. I want you to guess in the comment section at halftime what halftime tipple is our Trev going to have. Is he going to have a cup of tea, a beer, or will he have a Twix or a Kit Kat or something else? Let me know. This is your halftime chance to get involved with something at halftime. Just a little bit of fun on cup final day for you. The Trevor halftime snack bingo. So get you commenting straight away. And I hope Trevor doesn't mind this. By the way, as the corner comes in, and I'll take that bet also. Anyway, yes. So we'll have a little bit of halftime fun. I will be off air for about 10 minutes, folks. Meanwhile, as we come to the end of the first half, well, we've got a corner here. I need to have a lie down for 10 minutes after this. It's been Been a decent watch, but it's been a hard slog as well. Still 0-0 as the cup final comes towards the close of the first half. Flicked on by Aspilicueta, and it's knocked away. And referee Michael Oliver blows for the half-time whistle. So no score, but it's been a very good watch. Leicester will be delighted, but they've suffered a blow because Johnny Evans was taken off after half an hour with what looked a very bad injury. But you've got to say Leicester have held their own. Although Werner's had a couple of starts, Soyuncu's come close a couple of times. Vardy just before the break came close as well. But there's no score now. Just remember the Trevor's half-time step bingo. You play that. If you guys want to have a go at that, you can do. I'm sure Trevor will tell us what he had at half-time when we come back in about 15 minutes from 10 minutes from now. But we're going to take a 10-minute break. But the half-time score, as Russ has just come off mic, he says it's a decent first half, Chelsea with the better chances. Yeah, I don't think too many would argue with that. But we're going to take a quick 10-minute break so I can just take some fluids on board and get ready for the second half. Half-time then at Wembley Stadium in this 140th FA Cup final, live at Wembley. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0.
It's been a long time coming, but it's finally here. The Euro starts 11th of June across the BBC.
It's been a long time coming, but it all starts 3 weeks on Friday. The opening game, Italy versus Turkey, is live on BBC One from 7 o'clock. We've got Wales against Switzerland on the Saturday, BBC One at 2 o'clock. Sunday, we're back at Wembley for England's first group game against Croatia, another 2 o'clock kickoff in that one. And then on Monday, Scotland face the Czech Republic at Hampden. Well, we've got 3 England internationals in the studio. And Alan, I believe you've selected your English starting lineup for the first game against Croatia.
Only because you didn't want to, because you're frightened of the criticism you'd get. And I was reliably told that you have to imagine that everyone is fit and ready to go. So went for Pickford and goal, and then obviously the back four. And there's going to be a big decision for Gareth to make, obviously, in his squad in terms of the right back position because of the quality we've got in that position. But Alexander-Arnold would be the one that I would go for.
Henderson's not played for a long time, Alan.
I know he hasn't. No, but he's got another couple of weeks to try and prove his fitness, which he'll have to do, because I don't think the manager will be prepared to take too many gambles, having been in that position himself before. Yeah. Mount, as we said before the game, I think he's a guaranteed starter, as will Foden. I'm hoping, because with the ability of those two, and Harry Kane and Sterling as well.
There'll be a lot of people who will
go on piling, guys. Everyone else at home is.
I kind of want to put Calvin Phillips there because we haven't seen enough of Henderson. I would put Calvin Phillips there.
Yeah. And then,
is that it?
Is that the only
I probably have
formation. You happy with that?
In there as well.
It's very different. Also, the formation. I mean, the thing is, Gareth's going to have to make some really difficult decisions. For the first time, I think, in a generation or two, we've got an abundance of talent. Yes. England has got an abundance of talent, and he's going to have to make difficult decisions. But perhaps, actually, for the first time in a tournament, he'll be able to rotate, rest players, and only play players in form.
Yeah, you can. You mentioned it. The quality of players that Gareth has at his disposal is unbelievable. You know, we didn't even talk about Reece James there. You know, could you play 3 at the back with Reece playing as he's playing today, with Trent a little bit further up the pitch? You talk about Mount, Foden, the quality of players. So much quality there. So it is going to be a headache for Gareth, but what a problem to have.
Speaking of the Euros, remember when a certain Mr. Lineker was
Nigel, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the second half. Let's hope for a brilliant summer. Firstly, let's hope for a goal, because I think it's going to look like this season.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium. Well, the scoreline, if you just joined us, you might have caught a little bit of our match. You might have caught a little bit of match of the day there. But here come the teams now coming out for the second half. You've got the man in the match. I'm not going to keep reminding you every 5 minutes now, because I spent 5 years reminding you every so often. Now we've got the news ticker. We can make good use of that. So full details of what you can do with the JB man in the match is now running on the tickers bit at the bottom of the screen. So read that very carefully, and then you know what to do. I will remind people once or twice of that, but we've got the ticker very much in full flow. The teams are back out now and ready to go in the second half, and I hope you're going to enjoy the second half. With us on JB Sports, you might have caught a little bit of Lineker, Shearer and Cole talking on BBC. That was just to give you a little bit of halftime entertainment. And the Kit Kat bingo as we were ready to start the second half. In the Trevor's Snap Time Snack bingo, Kit Kat Nulati, he reckons. Russ Vernon, who's now taking his position for another commentary stream on YouTube. He's working for the newly formed football commentary, the new commentary hub, whatever they call themselves these days, as Leicester get us away, or Chelsea's how we get us away, attacking the goal to our right, and Leicester now coming forward. Let me remind you of the two sides. Kepa Arrizabalaga is in goal for Chelsea. Back three of Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Antonio Rudiger. Kante, James, Jorginho and Alonso, the midfield quartet. Ziyech and Mount are the two attacking midfielders. And Timo Werner up front, already been booked from the first half. Leicester 3-1-4-2, we believe. Kasper Schmeichel there, captain in goal. Fofana, Albrighton, Soyuncu at the back three. Albrighton having replaced Johnny Evans. Castagna, Tillemans, Ndidi and Thomas in the midfield. Perez in the attacking midfielder role. And it's Vardy and Iheanacho up front. And it's Leicester City on the attacking back with Albrighton in towards Kenichi and Iheanacho. And the throw into Leicester. Both teams internationally attacking the end where their fans are situated behind. And here come Leicester City in the maroon shirts. Chelsea in the blue. Leicester looking to win the FA Cup at the fifth time of asking. They reached 4 previous finals and lost a lot. Can they do it for the fifth time of asking? Or will Chelsea's FA Cup cream rise to the top? Rise to the top again and become the FA Cup cream of the crop once more. So missing out last year. Ball out of play on the far side. It will be a throw-in to Leicester City. It was an even Stevens first half, I thought, in terms of the opportunities that were created in the game. But at the moment, it's still 0-0. We'll also get confirmation from Trevor what the actual answer was. I suppose a few of you didn't take part in Trevor's halftime snack bingo, but there we go. It's just the way of the world. Don't forget, speaking of Trevor, don't forget, 8:30 tonight on Trevor Sports. It was a beer and another beer. Well, Russ was so badly wrong there. No Trevor Bonds for him. Meanwhile, here's Mason Mount, and he looks and he's actually setting the next move next to me against Chelsea. Concede a goal kick. He's actually setting the next move next to me, and he's giving me he's just heard me say that over his headphones. And he's just turned around and given me a willful look as young Russ. Oh, dear me. Anyway, no Trevor Bonds for us and no corner for Chelsea. Goal kick. It is to Leicester. 3 minutes gone in the FA Cup final second half. Remember, the man of the match vote. This is what I've left you some instructions in the ticker at the bottom of the screen for what you can do there. As we look at one or two of the Chelsea substitutes, including Kai Havertz, who came along with Timo Werner to Chelsea from Germany. Went for massive money, both of them, spent by Frank Lampard. Just never got it together, really, Lampard. Actually was sacked after an earlier cup match in January. Then Thomas Tuchel came in, and he's going as the squad. He's got them to 2 cup finals, including this one, and the European Cup final, which takes place a fortnight tonight. Soyuncu now comes forward, and he goes down. Free kick, surely no. Referee plays on, and it's going to be and Perez has gone down there in a bit of a heap. Iosi Perez, that is. Chelsea have got the throw in, incidentally. Oh no, his boot hits Kante's. He's done that himself there. He's kicked Kante, and in fact, Iosi Perez came off a bit more worse for wear than Kante actually did. So still 0-0. Remember, it's the same 22 players that started in the first half, and they're still out on the field now. I'll run through the subs when I get a second or two, when we get a break in play, because there's 8 substitutes apiece. 40 years ago, it was just a 1 sub. And, of course, the first final between Spurs and Man City in 81 was remembered for a deflected 3-kick goal from Glenn Hoddle. Tommy Hutchinson scoring at both ends, and Ricky Villa being substituted and walking away down the tunnel. So ashen-faced. But here, there's a chance now. Off limits comes Arisa Balaga, as Vardy was closing in there. Now Chelsea have possession, but Werner looked suspiciously offside to me. And I'm sure the linesman would have put his flag up anyway. Of course, they have to play on regardless of whether he's offside or not. And they have to let the move breathe, which I still think is a daft rule. And I hope that that ridiculous offside rule gets that changed next season. But anyway, the ball knocked forward, and Trevor's enjoying his beer. I wonder what sort of beer he's having tonight. He won't be having Guinness, obviously. I'm sure Trevor will let us know what sort of beer he drinks. A lot of the sort of obscure beers, and he's a big wine drinker as well, is our Trev. And looking forward to seeing him in the flesh maybe a little later on this year, and when lockdown is over properly, and meeting up for a beer with him. Meanwhile, Jorginho is feeling a bit of an injury there. And it was Tielemans just tripped him up, I have to say. Jorginho made a little bit more of it than it needed to be. Now, I think James Maddison may well be coming on in a second. I did say same 22 players. I've just got to retract that statement, because Johnny Evans was taken off injured. Hogs back traditional English ale. That sounds very, very good. Very obscure beer, but I'm sure Trevor will recommend that. I might actually try that one day. Thank you for that recommendation, Trev. Other beers are available, but that's Trevor's recommendation, and he's more of a connoisseur of beer than I am myself. Just to put you in the picture. Anyway, back to the match, and there's James Maddison preparing to come on, or is he going to just warm up? I think he's just warming up. I think just putting his drill top on. Yeah, so he's just running down the touchline now. He's going to have a bit of a warm-up down the far touchline, away to my right-hand side. And he will have a big part to play, if required, later on in the second half. Let me remind you, folks, the man of the match, folks, as regards extra time, the man of the match, folks, does not carry over for extra time, folks. It will go from the 60th to the 90th minute to vote. And I'll tell you when to vote as soon as we hit the 60th minute mark, which is just under 8 minutes away, as Mason Mount now runs down this, or rather, was it? Yes, it is Mount. And now then, a chance here now for Kante to take possession. It was a lovely ball out to Asperqueta on the right. Takes on Thomas, now back to Reece James. Still 0-0 in the cup final, and Kante's got him behind on the right-hand side. Werner waits in the penalty area. So too does the header from Alonso at the back post, and it's an easy save for Kasper Schmeichel. But what's more encouraging, really, is the header was on target. Even though it was a very tame header from Marcos Alonso, in the end, what it does do is it just buys a little bit of time as regards that, and the goal kick has been given, or Schmeichel's kicked the ball out of his hands, I should say. So 53 minutes gone. It's a Leicester City throw-in, actually. So 9 attempts to Leicester, 9 attempts to Chelsea, Robert. Leicester with 5, and that first header on target from Alonso is the first shot on target. We've waited the best part of 53 and a half minutes for that. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. And we will be with you until the conclusion of this final, where it's through 90 minutes, extra time, penalties. We'll be with you right till the very end, live on JB Sports, to bring you the conclusion of this season's FA Cup competition. The 140th over 700 odd teams started out back in August, including the famous internet side #United, who went through 5 preliminary rounds and then were knocked out. Funnily enough, I think they needed penalties in 3 of them, winning 2 and losing 1. Spencer Owen's side will be back in the cup next year. Of course, we had those shockers. We had Marine in the 3rd round at Tottenham, you may remember, back in January. Chorley got to round 4, so there has been tradition. So there's some traditions that never die away, the giant killers. Well, we've got 2 of the Premier League's top 5 in action here in this final today. And we're still no breakthrough yet. But the Leicester fans have really been up for this today. They travelled, 10,000 of them travelled down from the Midlands. And can they produce the Oracle again? Just trying to think the last time a Midlands side won the Cup. I think I'm going back to West Bromwich Albion and Jeff Astle, maybe back in 1968. Anyway, it's a corner kick. It was Coventry City, rather, 1987. The last time a team from the Midlands won the FA Cup. It was Coventry City who won that day. And they won their first ever FA Cup against another London side, Tottenham Hotspur. And it was one of the best finals of all times. Yes, Trevor, you are right. I was trying to think then, and then I forgot Coventry. So that was it. Yes, Keith Ouchen's diving header. Can one of these Leicester players do a Keith Ouchen and put Leicester in front? It's a corner taken by Tielemans, and it goes towards Fofana, who almost screwed there. Albrighton gets it on the far side, and it's out to Tielemans again. Tielemans with a cross into the penalty area, and it almost went straight through there, and it's gone out for a throw-in, I believe, to Leicester City. And you could just tell from the fans now they're really up for this. Good cross from Tielemans, not once but twice. The second one was a terrific ball. It just needed a header on it, or a maroon shirt to get on the end of it, and that might have been the opening goal of the final. Thomas with the throw for Leicester in the all maroon today. Chelsea in blue shirts, blue shorts, and white stockings. Ball has been kept in by Chelsea. The ball now comes back out to Hakim Ziyech. And Ziyech plays a dangerous ball back to Thiago, and James Robert back to Thiago, then puts his laces through the ball, gets it away, and Fofana should get it back to his goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel, away to my right-hand side. And he gets it forward and looks for Castagna. Castagna does really well. Looks like Leicester have gone to a back 3 since Johnny Evans went. And the referee's given Leicester the free kick. So we've had 56 minutes of the final, still 0-0. Man of the match vote will start in just over 3 minutes from now. And we'll give you the key to start. Whoever gets the most votes when we get to the 90th minute of the match, when normal time is finished, will win man of the match. And if it goes to extra time, we'll let you know that the vote is closed. And, of course, we'll put it on the news ticker, our little ticker below. But that's how... But the ticker will tell you how you do it. If you're a first-time listener to JB Sports, of course, if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you are listening in, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notifications. Of course, do the same for Trevor's channel and to Chris and to CW Virtual Sports Commentator channel, and obviously after the match to Russ Burnham as well for terrific YouTube broadcasters who really put our heart and soul into commentary. And we are here for your listening and viewing pleasure. Out comes Kasper Schmeichel, and he lets the ball go out of play. Showed a nice turn of footwork. That wouldn't look out of place on Come Dancing. Goal kick it is to Leicester City. 58 gone here at Wembley. 22,000 inside the ground this afternoon. Holds 80,000, but I tell you, it sounds like 80,000 rather than 23,000. For Leicester City throw. Silva felt he was impeded by Vardy, but the referee, Michael Oliver, doesn't want anything of it, or won't have any of it. And it still remains goalless here in this 140th FA Cup final, sponsored, of course, by Emirates Airlines. And here, the ball is over on the far side. It's out of play. Of course, I should tell you that Emirates have not sponsored the FA Cup for 140 years. They've only been sponsoring it the last few years. So, back in 1872, a certain duo called the Wright brothers invented the first aircraft around about that time. Maybe a little bit after 1872. But that was when the first FA Cup took place. And of course, the FA Cup, which is based on, was made in Bradford. The current FA Cup, it's actually a replica of the actual trophy that was made in Bradford back in 1911. There you are, a little bit of FA Cup trophy facts and figures for you. Driving up a cup final, which has just calmed down a little bit. No. Well, we see the cup final come to the ball again. Good skills there. In it goes, and it's behind for a corner. And Leicester now dictating it now. They've created one or two opportunities for themselves now. If Tielemans could get a good bowling from the far side, this could be Leicester's chance. He put in a terrific good couple of crosses about 5 minutes ago. Can he do the same wet again? The Leicester fans are going at it now, Hammer and Tongs. They know they could probably sense blood here. Can the men in maroon, the change strip of maroon for Leicester City, win the cup for the first time in their history? The corner is short to Perez, who just sold Tielemans down the river. It was a nice idea, but poorly executed, and now could leave Leicester short-handed. But they win possession again, deep inside Leicester Chelsea territory. Now then, this cross needs to be good. Too high for Vardy, who's not the tallest of men. Reece James will pick it up on the near side now for Chelsea, the right-hand side rather. Now, Mount, who's just gone a little bit quiet since the second half. Just having a look at one or two of the substitutes there for Leicester. That's Johnny Evans there, who's gone off with an injury and watching on now. But the atmosphere is absolutely electric. And it's just great to see supporters and no fake crowd noises and none of this malarkey that we've had to endure for the last 12 months or more. It's been a remarkable turn of events, and it's great to have even 22,000. It still has a massive atmosphere to it. We're going to see, I think, Kai Havertz come on at some point here for Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel, baseball cap, puffer jacket, and it's sort of a must-have now in the manager's fashion accessories wardrobe. I remember when puffer jackets were sold on the open air markets of a few years ago. Anyway, yes, but Quetta plays the ball in from the right-hand side, and it's an easy save for Kasper Schmeichel again. And collects it under no great pressure inside his own 6-yard box. We've had 62 minutes. JB Man in a Match voting is now open, folks. So just if you want to vote, just read the instructions on the little ticker below, and you'll find out how you can do it. If you're a first timer, of course. Trevor's an old timer at this, so he's an old Andy. He'll know what to do. And of course, but if you are new, just follow the instructions at the bottom of the screen, and you'll know then exactly what to do. As I say, Trevor's a very youngish, oldish sort of hand at it. He's been around our streams now for quite some time, 18 months or more. He's been one of our regulars, and it's always good to have him on the stream. It enhances the stream better when he's commenting or taking part in the broadcast. Here's Tillemans now 30 yards out. Tillemans! Oh, what a spectacular goal from Yuri Tillemans! A terrific goal, one of the best cup final goals of modern times. And Yuri Tillemans has set it Rasper into the top left-hand corner of the net. And it's Leicester City, who take the lead after 63 minutes of the 140th FA Cup final. Chelsea are complaining about something, but Yuri Tillemans has just hit the goal of the season, for me anyway. It was given away by Reece James. Perez got the ball. Then Thomas laid it in, and Tillemans, from something like 30, maybe 25, 30 yards out, smashes it right-footed. Arisa Balaga's got no hope of saving it. It goes like a bullet into the top left-hand corner, and Yuri Tillemans has put the underdogs, Leicester City, in their 5th cup final, into the lead. And what a turn-up for the Bucks. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1, Chelsea 0. Terrific goal. Oh, my goodness. We've seen it all now. We will update the scores, but my goodness me, what a cup final now we've got ourselves here. Leicester City leading by a goal to 0. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? But that's what Leicester are about. As Brendan Rodgers wait for a domestic. They did actually check it on VAR. The goal stands, and Trevor's confirmed it, and we've now updated the scoreline for you now, folks. Leicester 1, Chelsea 0. There was a few complaints about the goal, but the goal stands, and I think rightly so. It would have been a complete travesty if the goal was to chalk off. Meanwhile, at the other end, we've got a corner now to Chelsea. Leicester 1, Chelsea 0 in the FA Cup final. Are they going to win it for the 5th time? I'm asking. The corner comes in towards the edge of the area, and it's knocked away once more. I'm not sure if we've had a substitution in all that. I'm sure someone will keep me in the loop of that, because I'm producing, I'm commentating, I'm doing all sorts here today. But the goal stands, and 1-0 it is. And here's Tillemans, the goal scorer. Oh, that will be a goal that will live long in the memory. I've been doing, this is my 4th FA Cup final for JB Sports, and in that time I've wanted something like this to commentate on in a Wembley final. And, well, haven't I got my wish and some today? Fantastic. So, also, Trevor's made the first bid for man of the match, and it's not a bad shout. Tillemans. I think Gary Lineker's warming up now, but yes, indeed, Trevor, but there's still a long way to go yet. 25 minutes plus stoppage time. Hello, Just Killer. Nice to have you with us. If you want to vote for man of the match, my friend, read the instructions in the ticker below. And also, if you're with us for the first time, mate, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the notifications if you are near for the very first time. Thank you for joining us. Anyway, here's Jorginho for Chelsea, who trail 1-0 in the FA Cup final. Yuri Tillemans with a 25-yard cracker. The ball played in, and it's going to go to Kasper Schmeichel. So the underdogs, Leicester City, the Premier League champions of 2016. Now, what happened here? Well, I don't think that's, well, I'm not sure. I think it's come off his knee any time, but, well, if that goal got chalked off, it would have been one of the biggest injustice of all time, because we'd have seen a terrific goal chalked off. Remember 1974, if you're old enough to remember, as Iheanacho was being replaced by Maddison. Remember the Liverpool-Newcastle match in 74, if you're old enough to remember it. Alec Lindsay scored a terrific goal, which unbelievably got chalked up for offside. Now, Chelsea are going to put on, who are they putting on here? Pulisic is going on here. So Pulisic is on for Hakim Ziyech. Just Killer's gone for Tillemans. Yeah, absolutely. And you've done exactly what I asked you to do. Ben Chilwell is also on now for Marcos Alonso, the former Leicester player. Wow. 1969, they've had to wait 52 years of hurt for Leicester from that 69 defeat. And if they hold on for 23 minutes plus stoppage time, they will win the FA Cup, Leicester, for the very first time in their history. 101 what a time to get it in the 140th year. They've won the other domestic prizes. They've won the Premier League, of course. They've won the League Cup 3 times in 64, 97 and 2000. They've won several playoff finals in the 1990s. Lost a few as well. Remember Swindon and Leicester in 93 when they lost in the last, with almost the last kick of the game through Paul Balding, and then beat Derby the next year. Then Steve Claridge scoring in the last seconds of the 96 playoffs. And Trevor making a good point, which I'll come to in a second, because Chelsea are on the attack here with Reece James. Well, can Leicester hold on now? They've got 22 minutes plus stoppage time. 2 votes for Yuri Tillemans as man of the match. The JB Man of the Match award. Here's Rudiger now for Chelsea. Leicester have got practically everybody back behind the ball now on the edge of their own penalty area. Leicester 1, Chelsea 0 is the score in the FA Cup final. Here's James for Chelsea, the red-hot favourites under Thomas Tuchel. And I'm sure Pep Guardiola will be watching, keeping a beady eye, because Chelsea, of course, play Manchester City in the European Cup final 2 weeks tonight, folks. Chelsea going backwards, so I can bring in Trevor's comment. The last time Chelsea were in the Cup final, the FA Cup final, that is, the Beatles were just about still together, of course. Yes, they split up in late 69. And, well, what a moment this is. And what a blow it would be for Leicester City. And if they win it for the chairman that sadly their owner, which was sadly their Thai owner, of course, you know who I'm talking about, who sadly died in that helicopter crash. What a moment that would be for the family, of course, behind the King Power, who took over the club. But what a job they've done since they took control. Got into the Premier League, stayed up against all odds in 2015, won the Premier League a year later as Chelsea comes charging forward. Schmeichel can pick the ball up. And now they played in Champions League. They're on course for Champions League football after a magnificent win at Old Trafford on Tuesday, which gave Manchester City the title and their second trophy of the season. And now they're on the cusp of winning their maiden FA Cup if they can hold on there. There's an injury to Tim Castagna. But this Leicester side, who have been so near and yet so far in the 3 seasons that Brendan Rodgers has been the manager, they've always been the bridesmaids. Are they going to be the bride this afternoon? I'm not sure if it's the new Chelsea kit, Just Killer. I'm not sure about that. But what I will say is that I think it's still this season's kit. I don't think it's. I just think because it's got. I think it's because it's a cup final. They'll have the FA Cup final and the date they play. But at the moment, it's not going to be a memorable one for Chelsea. Losing finalists last year. Last won the cup back in 2018 when they beat Manchester United in a very poor final, if I care to remember, at Wembley Stadium. And here at Wembley now, can Christian Pulisic now, down the right-hand side, produce a comeback now? That's surely come off Pulisic, but it hasn't. It's a corner off Wilfred Ndidi. It's going to be a long 20 minutes for Leicester. And time will go slow for them. But certainly, time will not be Chelsea's friend at the moment. They launched it on social media this week. I'm not sure yet, Just Killer. We'll find out in a couple of weeks' time. I will announce it on Twitter. We will announce it on Twitter for you in about a week's time. But at the moment, Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1 is the scoreline. And we've had 72 minutes of this. And we're on, well, if it is to be the winning goal from Tillemans, what a way to win it. But there's still a long way to go yet, as I keep saying. Here's Aspilicueta with the cross. You've still got about 17 minutes to choose the man of the match, folks. We've had 2 votes for Yuri Tillemans from Trevor and from Just Killer, I should say. And if you haven't voted, please do. And the instructions are there at the bottom of the screen. I'll just remind anyone, if Sue is listening in. Oh, that's a naughty challenge on Maddison. And Maddison's gone down in a heat there. And it's Azpilicueta. Oh, he's gone in one-footed. And Maddison felt that. There was no play acting involved there. Well, there will be a talking point. Did Perez handle it? But I think it was purely accidental. But, well, what a goal that is. As soon as it's left its foot, it's gone in like a rocket. It's a superb goal. And James Maddison celebrates almost as if he's won the national lottery. Well, this would be a great, just as good an achievement as the Premier League title in 2016 when they started that season having survived relegation at odds of 5,000 to 1 and made a lot of Leicester supporters very rich men indeed. And Leicester, in the last year with the pandemic, have had to endure so much torment and lockdown and stuff like that. What a fillip for the city it would be if they could bring the FA Cup back to Leicester, and success to the club, who in the last decade or more have been the pathfinder to any club that's come up from the Championship. Not only do they intend to stay there, but to go on and win the thing and now possibly win the FA Cup. They are a pathfinder to any club in the land that wants to have a bit of ambition, take on the big boys at their own game, and have a go at winning silverware. And Leicester are just a quarter of an hour just over away from doing just that. League champions 5 years ago. Now they could be on the verge of adding the FA Cup to their roll of honour. They've won the League Cup 3 times, as I've said. Lost out in the Charity Shield 5 years ago to Manchester United, but wow. Well, now we're going to see Kai Havertz come on. They've got to throw in. They've got to throw caution to the winds now. So Kai Havertz has come on. Can Chelsea get back into it, or will? And of course, they can make more than 3 substitutions. And Jorginho has been replaced. Azpilicueta's going. Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to come on. Well, Chelsea have got a quarter of an hour to save their FA Cup ambitions. They started the day potentially winning an FA Cup and Champions League double. It doesn't look as if it's going to be Thomas Tuchel's day. It could well be their day, 2 weeks' time, but Pep Guardiola will have something to say. We've got an injury at the moment. That's why we're not. That's why we're just talking at the moment. You're missing nothing. Thomas has just taken a knock there. Brendan Rodgers, who came so mighty close 7 years ago, 2014, his Liverpool side so near to winning the Premier League. A Steven Gerrard slip and a 3-goal concession at Crystal Palace. They were only that away from winning the Premier League. But he's rebuilt. But since he left Liverpool, he rebuilt his reputation at Celtic for so many years. Dominated Scottish football, winning the Scottish FA Cup up in Scotland. But that achievement with Celtic will pale into insignificance if he wins the cup here with Leicester. It'll be the biggest achievement of his life. Forget what he did at Celtic. This will be an even bigger achievement than what he achieved up at Celtic. Ball played into the penalty area from Chelsea. They got a free kick whilst I was talking to you. It comes to Kante. 14 minutes to go, plus injury time at the end of this FA Cup final. Terrific game up at Newcastle last night, but it was a bit of a non-event, as Trevor quite rightly points out. There was no pressure on either side, so I didn't actually see the match, but I did see the goals and some terrific football played in that game as well. I suppose when you have no pressure and nothing's riding on it, you can relax. Anyway, here's Kante now for Leicester, chipped into the penalty area. Header one. Oh, great save from Schmeichel. And Havertz denied on the rebound by Marco Brighton, and big save. It was Ben Chilwell of all people, the former Leicester man, got a terrific header in, and I think Schmeichel may have been beaten. Did he save it? Did he touch it onto the post? He did. He touched it onto the post. It's an amazing save from Kasper Schmeichel. A save of pure genius. A save his dad would have been proud of. Chelsea corner, nodded away by Fofana. 13 to play. Chelsea still being frustrated. Is it going to be Leicester City's day? I don't want to jinx it too early for any Leicester fans listening in, but it could well be their evening. It could be their day. And every dog certainly has its day. Here's Kante for Chelsea. Leicester holding on in there. 12 minutes plus stoppage time to go in the FA Cup final. If Chelsea score in that time and there's no further scoring, we will have extra time. As things stand at the moment, we will not need the extra time. Because we'll see a great cut shot, probably not as big as what we saw with Wigan 8 years ago, but it'll be up there. Leicester City, who have never won the FA Cup in 5 previous final attempts when they've got to Wembley. There's the chairman, the man behind King Power. They bought the club over a decade ago, and they had dreams and ambitions. They didn't throw as much money as the likes of Chelsea do, but they've always recruited wisely. They've always bought the right players. They won the title, of course, under Ranieri. The success started with Nigel Pearson when they won the championship title. And then he kept them up against all the odds a year later. Then in 2016, the miracle of miracles, the league title, the Premier League title was bagged. And Jamie Vardy was on for a party then. He's at the moment, we're 12 minutes away from a Vardy party. Social distance, of course. The ball had a play on the far side. What a cup final this has been. And with the fans just being there, it's made it that all that bit special. It doesn't sound like 22,000. It sounds like 50, 62,000. Coming up to the final 10 minutes of the final, plus stoppage time. You've still got 10 minutes to get your voting for man of the match. Julian Telemans with 2 votes leads the man of the match voting. The instructions are there at the bottom of the screen. And we'll announce the man of the match at the 90th minute mark. But what a day. What a day for Leicester City Football Club. Potentially, if they win the cup now, if they hold on. Still a long way to go yet. Here's Callum Hudson-Odoi, back from injury, into Kai Havertz. Christian Pulisic, rather. Reece James now onto Kante, deep inside Leicester territory, halfway inside the Leicester half. Leicester leading 1-0, remember. Here's the ball around the corner. Mount gets the crossing off the defender. Could it be more Wembley heartbreak for Mason Mount? 2 years ago, he lost in the playoff final to Aston Villa. A year ago, his Chelsea side lost to Arsenal. Is it going to be history repeated for a 3rd year in a row? Callum Hudson-Odoi will take the throw for Chelsea, almost in line with the 18-yard box. There's going to be a substitution, and big bulky Olivier Giroud is going to replace Timo Werner, who quickly gets himself off the field and allows Giroud to come on. 81 minutes gone. 9 minutes away. We're going to see Wes Morgan, the club captain. Wes Morgan. What a checkered career he's had. Started off in the East Midlands at Nottingham Forest. He's going to replace Thomas. Perez is going off, and Ansar Chowdhury, who came through the system at the King Power. The afro-haired youngster is going to come on. He's been a bit more of a regular this season in the Leicester City side. Well, what a day this could be for Wes Morgan. Former Nottingham Forest player, had disappointments at the City Ground, playoff campaigns that ended in semi-final failures. He went to Leicester. He won the Premier League as captain. And what a way now in the autumn of his career. Jamie Vardy as well, having come through the ranks at Fleetwood for so many years, now could be about to lift the world's greatest cup competition unless Chelsea produce something spectacular for Antonio Rudiger, which they don't. Rudiger's right foot goes way, way wide. Not so handsome. Goal kick to Leicester, who are now 8.5 minutes away from putting their great name on the FA Cup, playing for the very first time. And I'm sure a certain Mr. Lineker when he attended a final as a supporter, a Leicester City supporter 52 years ago, way back in 1969, went home on a steam train, crying his eyes out. Was it going to be a different emotion for him? Even though he's working as a television presenter today, is it going to be 52 years on? A different story for him. Chelsea 0, Leicester 1, Chelsea 0 is the score. Leicester City, tantalisingly 7 minutes away from the FA Cup, plus stoppage time, of course, and there may well be a big chunk of stoppage time. There has been one or two injuries in all of that, but they've done it without Johnny Evans, and we were worried about Leicester when Johnny Evans had to come off with an injury, but my word, what a final it has been. And now Pulisic turns away towards Giroud, plays an aimless ball away, and it's out of play. Chelsea look as if they're going to be, the supporters, you look at the body language of the Leicester fans away to my left, and the Chelsea supporters away to my right. Tielemans is the third vote from Russ Vernon, who's working for the commentary hub, and he's in the next booth, and even he couldn't believe it, and I'm sure, and I could hear him shouting his head off when Tielemans scored as well, even over me. And but what a goal. You'll never see a terrific goal. If it wins the FA Cup, it'll live long in the memory. Here's Vardy now at the other end. Vardy into the area. Good tackle there by Thiago Silva. The former PSG player using all his master experience. He's also taken over the captain's armband from Aspilicueta when he went off. But Vardy there, winning his team a corner and a bit of respite. And surprisingly enough, and not surprisingly enough, they haven't brought too many men forward, as you would expect. Only 4 in the penalty area, as I can see at the moment. But Leicester have got it down the end. And Tielemans, whose goal at the moment with 5 minutes to go looks as if they're going to win it. 5 in the area. Tielemans with the corner. And it goes towards Sionchu, but it's missed everybody. But it'll come to answer Chowdhury now. Chowdhury tries to take on his man. Chowdhury with the cross. Look at a flick there by Vardy, which goes, very wide of the post in the end. But a goal kick. Can Leicester do it? Just less than 4.5 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. If they hold on for that remaining time, they will win the FA Cup for the first time ever in the 5th final. 4 previous finals have ended in defeat. 1969 the last time. And they had some good players in them days. Alan Birchnell, Peter Shilton and all that. Franco Farrell was the manager in those days. But is it going to be Brendan Rodgers about to make club history? 4 minutes to go exactly. Reece James has possession for Chelsea. Leicester have got practically all 11 men back inside their own penalty area. Hudson-Odoi now trying to work some magic. It's all hands on deck for Chelsea. James knocks the ball into the area. Giroud's waiting. Shot comes in. Oh, brilliant save! A brilliant save from Kasper Schmeichel. And it's not going to be... Oh, he looked an equaliser all the way. The snapshot. I'll try and work out who shot there. It was Mason Mount with the left foot. It looked as if it was in the corner, but Schmeichel came up with a big save. Chelsea corner into the far post, away by Morgan. And Morgan gets across again. Still Chelsea having Schmeichel loses it, but gets on the rebound. Oh, my goodness. And Schmeichel won the cup for Leicester. It was a half volley from Mount, and it was a terrific one. And Schmeichel at full stretch, diving away to his left. May just win the FA Cup for Leicester City with that one save alone. It's got the age of 1973 and leads Sunderland. About it when Sunderland scored a terrific goal for Ian Porterfield. And as Kasper Schmeichel pulled off the Jim Montgomery moment. 3 minutes to go. And Leicester are holding on. How? I couldn't possibly tell you. But they're holding on. And Kasper Schmeichel's been a big part of that. I say that's. I must admit, I don't know what you guys think about it in the comment section, but that save has got to be as more spectacular as Jim Montgomery's back in 1973. It has to be. It just has to be. 2 minutes just over to go of this 2021 Emirates FA Cup final, the 140th FA Cup final. And what a final it's going to be if Chelsea don't win this now. Time is not on their side. 2 minutes to vote for the man in the match, but it looks a clear and it looks a clear-cut vote at the moment. 3 votes for Yuri Tillemans, who's going to be man of the match, and the chance here off the line. Oh, he's gone in. Oh, he's gone in. He's gone in, I think, off Morgan. How cruel. How cruel. I don't believe it. Chelsea are out of jail. And it was an absolute mess of a goal. I couldn't tell who got the final touch. It's on extra time. Sion got it. Where's Morgan? So near and yet so far. It's on extra time. And it might be, now. Could be anything to offside here. Off the line. It came off Morgan and into the net. But will VAR get involved here? Is it offside? They looked it into offside. VAR checking. VAR checking. VAR checking. Now, VAR might still have an intervention. Is the goal going to be chalked off? I wonder. It looks suspiciously offside to me. He's not giving it! The goal's not going to stand! The goal's not going to stand! Chelsea are not level! Chelsea are not level! The goal does not count! Leicester stay in the lead! Leicester stay in the lead! Thomas Tuchel has been denied by a fingernail, if that! Brendan Rodgers' side stay in the lead! So close! And we all criticise VAR, but my goodness, it's fantastic! And I thought he might have been an elbow offside. I thought he was offside on the first replay. We're into stoppage time. Tillemans has got man in the match. But if there's any justice in the world, it's going to be Leicester City. It's got to be them now. Their name's surely on the FA Cup. We're into stoppage time. Don't vote anymore, folks. Tillemans is man in the match. 5 added minutes. Still time left for Chelsea. The job isn't done yet for Leicester. Here's Maddison now. They've got to take it to the corner. Vardy stays onside. Vardy gets down the line. And Jenkins puts it him over. And surely must be booked. That was petulant. It was stupid. And surely Reece James has got to be booked, but he's not. He's got away with it. But he's given a free kick to Chelsea, would you believe? Oh, my word. 1 minute gone of the 5 nearly. We have now played that 1 minute. 4 more remain of stoppage time. Remember, don't vote for man in the match. Yuri Tillemans is our winner. Whether it goes to extra time or not, man in the match is settled now for this year's FA Cup final. Here on JB Sports. Leicester 1, Chelsea 0. Goal disallowed for Chelsea through VAR. And who thought it was a bad invention? Goal kick. Goal kick. Kasper Schmeichel, the captain, could be on the verge of becoming the first goalkeeper captain since David Seaman in 2003 to lift the cup. Before that, Dave Besan for Wimbledon in 88. This is unbelievable. Chelsea fans, some of them now are resigned to their fate. They're all heading down for the exits. Kasper Schmeichel's going to take the goal kick. We've had 2 of the 5 minutes in the cup final. Second half, right at the end. Offside there against Vardy. If it had got through to him, he would have been offside. Soyuncu with a header. Free kick to Leicester City. Soyuncu was fouled. Michael Oliver, he's had a superb match. I've got to give the referee, and what a decision from Chris Kavanagh. That was a brave decision, but it was the right decision. Chelsea will cry all they want, but what a magnificent performance from Leicester. And that scarf I've just seen there tells it all. three little words really on that scarf that tells you all you need to know about Leicester. Foxes never quit. Schmeichel goes for the corner. And the Foxes have not quit here today on the biggest game in one of their biggest games in their illustrious history. They've never won the FA Cup until today. They are now tantalisingly just 2 minutes away from winning the FA Cup at their 5th attempt in the final. Remember, the last time, 1969, when they lost to Manchester City by a single goal scored by Neil Young. When Franco Farrell was the manager. 52 years on, Gary Lineker will be going on with tears of joy because Leicester have got a corner. They're nearly there now. Look at the smiles on the faces at that right, left-hand end of the ground. The contrast between the two sets of supporters. Leicester City are so near now to making history. They've never won the FA Cup in their history. They're about 70 seconds away from winning the FA Cup for the first time ever. Not that Brendan Rodgers shows it. He's still looking very poker-faced, but I'm sure he's nervous inside now on the bench. Thomas Tuchel can do nothing now. Chelsea so close to equalising, but that decision was a right one. The officials have been superb today. Everyone, from referee Oliver to VAR ref Atwell, Chris Cavani rather. He's had a terrific game. They've all had terrific games. Stuart Burton, Simon Bennett, and Atwell, the fourth officials. Sean Macialis has had a good game as VAR assistant. And she's one of the best officials in the game. Bar none. 30 seconds of stoppage time to go. Leicester City so near now to winning the FA Cup for the very first time. But here's Kanté now for Chelsea. So near now. The ball is with Harris, far side. The chip's in the penalty area. Headed away by Morgan. It comes to Reece James, but the ball beats him to it. 10 seconds, less than that to go. Can Leicester hold on in there? Chelsea flop the ball into the area. Soyuncu again wins the header. And Chelsea are going to be out of time. Callum Hudson-Odoi. And that's it! And that's it! Chelsea have been beaten. And Leicester City, for the first time in their history, have won the FA Cup. And what it means. And the supporters are going mad. Kasper Schmeichel's going to lift the FA Cup. He's going to make Leicester history. Leicester City win the FA Cup for the first time ever. That goal coming up towards the midway point of the second half from Yuri Tillemans with a 30-yard screamer. That won it. Oh, well, they say the FA Cup has its detractors, as its critics. My goodness, now it's back in the headlines for all the right reasons. The cup goes to Leicester for the very first time, and deservedly so. And Trevor's right, this is exactly what the cup needs. Wes Morgan has been a stalwart for Leicester, and what about the owners, the King Power Group? And the dreams have come true for them. They didn't just win the Premier League by a street in 2016. They absolutely walked it. 6 years on, they win the FA Cup for the first time ever. You couldn't write the script. Oh, it's a day. It's a day that will go down in FA Cup history, in FA Cup folklore. And there is the confirmation. Leicester are the FA Cup winners for 2021. It's almost defies belief. Thomas Tuchel will think what might have been, but I think the goal that was disallowed through VAR was the right decision. Ben Chilwell, who left Leicester City to come to Chelsea to win competitions, has been denied by his old club. And what a game it has been. I can't This is what the FA Cup is all about. This is why we promote it so much on this chat and so much on this channel, because there's no competition to beat it. There's absolutely no competition to beat it. And the fans absolutely love it. Yuri Tillemans is our man of the match, of course, with 3 votes. He was undoubtedly the man of the match. And it was absolutely, well, I think you've got it right. It was the man of the match by a long shot. But well, so Leicester City have won the cup for the very first time in their history. And who would have absolutely fought it? There's the confirmation of our Man in the Match award. The cup goes to Leicester City. And Gary Lineker is so becoming emotional. I'm even over my cans. Kasper Schmeichel there. Look at that, James Maddison. They are with their supporters. And who can blame them? Jamie Vardy, who's been through the game right from the lowest levels with Fleetwood Town on their rise up through the pyramid. They joined Leicester City 8 years ago for £1 million. What an investment that turned out to be. Oh, my goodness. Brendan Rodgers and Kasper Schmeichel, who's been there all that time, 2012 when he joined Leicester. And now he's emulated his great dad, the great Dane Peter, in winning an FA Cup winners' medal, just like he did win the Premier League 6 years ago. Chelsea, understandably dejected, but they've got to get themselves up for 2 weeks on tonight because they've got a couple of Premier League games to play out. They've still got to get into the Champions League just in case that all falls through. But there's a bigger. But Brendan Rodgers' grin is the biggest in Leicester tonight, without a shadow of a doubt. Wes Morgan, who's been there through the tough times, but he's been there certainly through the good times. Doesn't play as much as he used to, obviously. But look what it means. The FA Cup will go to Leicester for the first time ever. And as we speak, the engraver will be engraving for the first time in their history Leicester City's name on the FA Cup. Their first trophy in 6 years. And at the 5 times lucky. And at the 5th time of asking, 5th time lucky for Leicester City. Jamie Vardy, the biggest grin I can see there. That's lit up Wembley Stadium. The Chelsea fans, I have to say, the Chelsea fans are so disgraceful, really. I just want to say, Chelsea could have been very sporting there, the Chelsea supporters, and actually applauded Leicester City on their triumph today. And I think that would have been a good bit of sportsmanship. But the Chelsea supporters rather foolishly have gone home, and I think that's wrong. But, you know, we'd like to see sportsmanship to the very core, but you can't deny Leicester City deserve this. Yes, they had to go for an agonising wait. We thought Leicester had lost out there. Thiago Silva, one of the most experienced campaigners going, has been beaten. And that scarf I've just seen there, Foxes never quit. Foxes didn't quit today. They won the cup. They won the FA Cup, and what a moment. And for the late owner as well, what a nice little tribute to them. And I'm sure they'll dedicate it to him. And Jamie Vardy didn't score in the game, but he caused 1 or 2 problems. But it was that goal by Yuri Tillemans that did it. And 2 magnificent saves from Kasper Schmeichel that win the cup for Leicester City. And their fans are absolutely cock-a-hoops. Scarves. They've got scarves now around them now. It's just unbelievable. Kasper Schmeichel is talking with Kelly Summers.
Can you even begin to sum up how you feel? I'll come a bit closer. How on earth are you feeling right now?
I'm so happy I can't begin to describe it. I want to say hello to my kids, my wife at home. Love you guys. It's a shame we can't all be together today, but wow, what a day.
What was that moment like at the end when you ran up to the fans to celebrate?
Amazing, undescribable. It's what dreams are made of. I've dreamt of this since I was a child. You know, we've talked about wanting to win trophies, and the performance today, the grit and determination. So proud of everybody, you know. Everybody's contributed to get to the final. Everybody's played. Everybody's been sensational. All the team behind the team, all the medical staff, everyone just absolutely amazing. That's why when you work together and you do things properly, you have an internal belief. That's what you can achieve.
You mentioned there doing things properly. You spoke about it in the week. How much is this for the owners as well?
Yeah, it's exactly that. You know, none of you will be able to see on the inside of our shirts. We have a picture of him, so he's always with us. Convichai, and obviously for Tom, this is what we dreamt of. This is what we talked about so many years, and today the fans looking at it, it's just it's amazing. It's amazing.
Of course, Yuri will get the headlines for this one for his goal. But how big were those saves from you at the end?
I mean, Yuri, wow. What a finish. What a finish. You know, it's one I didn't even dare to celebrate because, you know, there's always going to be a VAR or something, so didn't dare to celebrate it, but yeah, what can I say?
And where can this Leicester side go from here? Does this feel like this is the beginning of something very special at Leicester?
Today is an amazing day. It's a great day. We'll enjoy it thoroughly, but we're training tomorrow. We play them again on Tuesday in a massive game again. So we, you know, like I said, today we enjoy it. Tomorrow we have to dust ourselves down, and we can't really think about that anymore because you know they're a top class side. They're going to want revenge.
Casper, congratulations. Enjoy that trophy lift.
What a great captain he's been for Leicester City.
Well, as Gary Lineker there just started speaking here after that interview, what a moment. I mean, Kasper Schmeichel just points out they're going to enjoy it tonight, but then it's back to the serious business of midweek. Leicester do play Chelsea in a league match during the week, and they will want revenge. It's Kasper Schmeichel quite rightly works out as they all get together in a circle and celebrate as one. It has been an amazing day for Leicester City Football Club. We will bring you that trophy lift, and we'll be with you until we'll try and get interviews from all the key people from all the match, hopefully from Yuri Tillemans, from Jamie Vardy. We'll try and have a look, try and get a view from the Chelsea perspective because they've lost the cup final. That's 2 years running they've lost the cup final. They lost 2-1 to Arsenal last season. There's Vardy. He's going to have a party tonight. And here we are, the Vardy party started at Wembley. And you know what? It's a pathfinder to any side like Leicester City outside the traditional top six, the Super League top six we'll call them, that can enjoy a bit of success, they can gatecrash the top four, they can be there for a considerable amount of time, like Brendan Rodgers has done. They got into Europe. I covered them when they went out of Europe with a whimper, but I've covered them today, and they've won the cup. They had to do it the hard way. They knocked out teams like Brighton and Manchester United. We saw them in the semi-finals a month ago against Southampton. And it was a close one thing because Southampton run them close. There's Prince William, the chairman of the president of the FA. There's the blue and gold ribbons on the FA Cup. And this is unbelievable. Of course, Chelsea will get their losers' medals. The presentations are not in the roll box, obviously because of the COVID rules, but they'll take it onto the pitch now. Brendan Rodgers' turn now to be paraded by his team, throwing him up and down, up and down. He's so thrilled. And everybody connected with Leicester City. What a proud day for them. And what a delightful day to them. Hopefully we'll hear from Brendan Rodgers before the evening's out. But, oh, what a trip up there and one back to the Midlands for Leicester. As for Chelsea, not so far for them to travel back home, but it'll still feel like a long way home for them. Yuri Tillemans saluting the crowd, just going But what a way to win it by Eurotillans in front of the Leicester fans. And what must be going through Ben Chilwell's mind? A former Leicester player went to Chelsea 2 years ago to win silverware. And at the moment, he has lost 2 finals. He can still win the European Cup, conceivably in a fortnight's time when they play Manchester City. But how deflated they'll feel after that, well, I don't know. We'll just have to find out in 2 weeks' time when that comes around. Of course, there's Premier League fixtures taking place on Wednesday and then the final day, a week tomorrow. So Chelsea will need to get themselves up and at them for the last 2 Premier League matches. Book their top 4 spots. They've done really well under Thomas Tuchel. It's practically Frank Lampard's team, in essence, really. That he's taken charge of, and he's done a remarkably good job. But so Leicester are receiving their winners. I think there's Brendan Rodgers and the Leicester team going through to get their medals. They have to get them themselves. They won't be presented because of the social distancing malarkey. But do they care? No, not one jot. They just can't wait to get their winners' medals. The FA Cup winners' medals. They don't care, Leicester. Johnny Evans, who went off injured after half an hour. My goodness, he must have been a few fingernails on that bench in the second half. Marco Brighton, who's now added a Cup winners' medal to his Premier League medal. They go up onto the rostrum, the podium. And, well, you can't deny Leicester their moment in the sun. They've never won the FA Cup in its history. And now Kasper Schmeichel and Wes Morgan, I think, as well. And it'd be nice if they did the trophy lift together, because Wes Morgan has been a faithful servant for Leicester City. He hasn't played as much as he wanted, but he's got a Cup winners' medal. And to people like Wes Morgan and to people like Jamie Varney and to people like Kasper Schmeichel, it all means all that. And Kasper Schmeichel will now receive the FA Cup from His Royal Highness Prince William, the President of the Football Association. Schmeichel receives the trophy, holds it, comes over to his teammates, and Leicester City, for the first time, will lift the FA Cup. Schmeichel and Wes Morgan lift the FA Cup for the first time ever. Leicester City are the FA Cup winners for 2021, and they've done it superbly. What a final. The champagne bottles, the champagne corks are flying. The lid fell off the FA Cup, incidentally, when they were lifting it, but they don't care. Confetti, fireworks, pyrotechnics, the lot. But it's a moment that will go down in Leicester City club history. And what a day for Leicester City. The combination of 12 years of great joy, started off by Nigel Pearson winning the championship title, and then he kept them up the next year. Then under Ranieri, they won the Premier League. Then they spent a few years in and around the top 4. And a succession of managers, Claude Perel being one, Craig Shakespeare another. And then Brendan Rodgers in his 3rd full season has got them on the verge of Champions League football for the 2nd time in their history. And now has actually guaranteed possible Europa League football by winning the FA Cup for the very first time ever. They are going to enjoy this tonight. Jose Perez getting a little lift of the trophy there. It has been a night or a day that we'll never, ever forget. The FA Cup belongs to Leicester. And I'm sure a certain Mr. Lineker will be crying tears of joy and not tears of sadness like he did some 52 years ago. And this is what teams like Leicester City should always be aiming for. And I think Burnley could be an example to follow. Burnley could follow Leicester's example. Now they've got Aaron Pace in. They were losing 4-0 today against Leeds, but less said about that, the better. The day belongs to Leicester City, and quite rightly so. Yuri Tillemans with the winning goal, but it was those 2 saves at the end from Kasper Schmeichel that did it, and a bit of luck with VAR, which they got, and deservedly so, by the way, which did it for them. Well, if you could write scripts like this, you'd be a pure genius. Johnny Evans, for all his success at Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson, well, I think this will be the sweetest success of the lot, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. It has been one of those things. As I see a replay of the trophy list, and just watch, if you're watching the replay right now, the trophy lid comes wide off there. Oh, my word. I hope someone caught that. It's a very expensive trophy, the FA Cup. And then the champagne flowed, and well, that is what it's all about. The FA Cup has been won for the very first time by Leicester City Football Club. They tried 4 times before to win it. The previous time, the last time, 1969. And there's the chairman going to join in the celebration. No doubt he'll be sprayed with champagne. And it's true what they say around Leicester City, that Foxes never quit. And Leicester and the Foxes didn't quit. They held on. They held their nerve. And they take the cup back to Leicester, whose City really has been through the mill in the last 12 months. Continuous lockdowns, utter depression in the city. But all that will be forgotten about for one glorious night tonight, as the town and it's the city itself. It's a wonderful city, Leicester. I've been lucky enough to visit there a couple of times, and it's so lovely. It's a nice, warm city, a friendly city. And what the owners have done for this club, even though the main man is not with them anymore, has been unbelievable. Championship time champions, Premier League champions, now FA Cup winners. Everything they would want to desire. And even the chairman now is going to lift the trophy. Oh, my goodness. Oh, you could not write these scripts. If you wrote the scripts, it'd be better than boys' fiction. It'd be better than any Beano or Dandy comic book. That is just unbelievable. You could not write scripts for anything like that. It's just unbelievable. Don't forget, we've got football coming your way, virtual football coming your way with JB, with Trevor Sports in just over an hour. But then hopefully I will have calmed down. But what a performance. And one thing you can't deny, that Leicester deserve their luck. And if there's any nice teams, any teams like that deserve a bit of respect, it's Leicester City. They are the best in the land at what they do, how they recruit, and how they go about their business. And they go about it in the best possible way. And it's just unbelievable. And I think you can't give too much credit. You couldn't give enough credit to people like Kasper Schmeichel, to people like Wes Morgan, to people like Jamie Vardy, who have been there, seen it, done it, got the T-shirt. They've been through the mill for so many years. It is unbelievable. But that is the cup now. Hopefully we'll get some interviews before the end here. And, well, it's been a day that none of us here, privileged to be here commentating, will never, ever forget. Gary Lineker, I'm just watching on my monitor. He's beside himself with joy. Let's have a look at the VAR goal that they didn't get allowed. We've talked enough about the winning goal. Now, I'm just watching a replay. Watch the man at the top right of the screen. Look at that. He's about a thigh offside, and that is it. Leicester thought they were cruelly done to there. Came off Wes Morgan and into the back of the net. We all thought, well, what cruel luck. And then VAR rightly chalked it out. Stockley Park right on the spot to chalk it out. And Leicester City held out in the remaining 5 minutes of stoppage time to take the cup to the King Power for the first time in their history. Chelsea have still got a chance at the European Cup in 2 weeks' time, but well, there we go. But I think the right team deserved to win on the day. Leicester rode their luck, but when your name's on the trophy, you do ride your luck. And I don't think anyone could deny Leicester's day in the sun. I'd like to get your reactions, please, to the news that Leicester have won the cup. I'd like to see how you feel. Kasper Schmeichel, what a picture book smile he's got on his face. And this really means so much. He pulled off 2 magnificent saves here. This was, I think, the first one. It was Kante's ball in. It was a terrific ball. He's a former Leicester player, of course, and it looked as if Ben Chilwell, of all people, it was Kante and Chilwell, former Leicester players, that almost rescued Chelsea the first time, but Schmeichel tipping it onto the post. It was a terrific save. And, wow, a super save, that is. And that was a great save. And then the second one coming a little bit later on was absolutely spectacular to deny. Mason Mount as well. This is the second save coming up. Mount is the one. And I think this save's an even better one because Mount strikes it edge of the area with his left foot. And it's a super effort. And look at the goalkeeper. Full stretch. And look at that. That is one of the most spectacular cup final saves I think I've ever seen in 30 years of watching cup finals and 4 years or 5 years of commentating on them now for JB Sports. It's just been one of those remarkable days, and the Leicester fans and the Leicester players are not leaving the arena yet. They know what a moment this has been for them. They could not have imagined in their wildest dreams they'd win the FA Cup. 52 years they had to wait to reach one. Now they've won it now. And who can deny them their day in the sun? Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1. What a day. This was the winning. This was Yuri Tillemans. He really won the midfield battle there. He was such a terrific player for them. And hopefully we'll try and get some interviews if we can before we leave you in about 10 minutes from now. I'm going to get something to eat once we're done here. But Vardy came so very close as well. He put in some really good deliveries as well. This one that Vardy just couldn't quite get on the end of. It was absolutely amazing. Terrific performance. And the Leicester supporters are not going. They're going to enjoy it. And then the finish from Tillemans, well, it's right foot. It must have been going at some speed. It must have been going some 70, 80 miles an hour. And Kepa Arrizabalaga beaten by an absolute mile. Word about the officials. Michael Oliver, Stuart Burt, and Simon Bennett, Stuart Atwell all did a magnificent job. So too did VAR as well. But Leicester really did well. And Fofana had a tremendous game. An unsung hero at the back. He really performed a tremendous bit of heroics, really. And really, when you look back at the final analysis of this, it has been one of the most remarkable cup finals of modern times. Only the one goal in it, mind you. Fofana made a double block, remember, in the first half. Let's not forget that. To deny Werner not once but twice. And then he was at it again. Every time he was always in the right positions, always in the correct positions. It was just unbelievable. But that is the way cup finals are won, when you put hard work and dedication and all sorts of other things into it. They're not going to be leaving this arena for a long, long time to come. And that's Fofana there. He's absolutely, they're all spent up, but they've still got energy to celebrate as one of the Leicester players balances the plinth on top of his head. I hope he doesn't have an headache in the morning. The Leicester hierarchy drumming up the support. Players being taken. Pictures taken with the FA Cup, which you'll see tomorrow in the Sunday newspapers. Just one more, chaps. Click, another. There's an old posse of photographers and cameramen who want a piece of this Leicester side. Let's hear from one of the Leicester City heroes, which is, I'll just give you the identity. Yuri Tillemans, the match winner, speaking with Kelly Summers.
Score in the final, but what a goal that was. So I'm really happy for the team and for the fans.
And it wasn't just any old goal, was it either?
Sorry, I can't hear.
And it wasn't just any old goal either. It was pretty special.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, today I got a text message saying that I had to hit for a top corner. I did it, and I'm really happy for it.
What were those scenes like at the end to be a part of? Because it looked pretty special celebrating there with the fans.
Yeah, it's really special. I mean, to have the fans in today is really special. I hope everyone was safe today and the fans watching us from home and supported us all year through. I hope they are proud of us, and I'm sure they are.
We know what Leicester's owners have done for the club. We saw Top come down and celebrate with you there as well. How special was it to have him as part of that?
Oh, that's amazing for us, really. It's emotional for him and his family, because they built this club towards glory, really, after the Premier League, and now to win the FA Cup for them is amazing, and we will just give everything for this club and for those men that build this club and build the history and his legacy.
And going forward for Leicester now, does this feel like this is the start of something special here? You're in the top four at the moment as well?
I think the start was when they won the league. That was when something special started, and we are just building that up, and hopefully we can continue. We have a very important game on Tuesday. If we win, we are hopefully in the Champions League, but then we just have to go again, and now we will enjoy and celebrate, and we'll think about Tuesday later on.
Make sure you enjoy it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yuri Tillemans there talking to Kelly Summers after Leicester City have just beaten Chelsea by 1-0 here in the FA Cup. They're not going yet. There's no doubt about that. Jamie Vardy, one of the stalwarts, he's been there for nearly 10 years. Championship promotion, championship winner, winning the Sky Bet Championship, and then the Premier League 2 years later, now the FA Cup. What a glorious ending to his career. And who would have dreamt it? Brendan Rodgers is now about to talk to Kelly Summers.
I'll let him enjoy this moment. Brendan, congratulations. Who are you pointing to up there?
We got Andy King, one of our former players, Callum Elders, so they're both former players.
This means so much to so many people, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling. I obviously wasn't aware before I came into Leicester. They never won the FA Cup. They'd obviously lost in 4 finals previous. So to be able to give that to the supporters, obviously Kuntop and his family, it's just such a special day.
You mentioned Kuntop there. I saw him come down and speak to you. What did he say?
Yeah, no, he's just so proud. It's a real collective effort at Leicester City, you know, from the board, players, staff, supporters. Just an amazing day for the city, and just so proud for everyone.
You talk about a collective effort, but there was some rather impressive individual performances out there. Let's start with Yuri Tillemans' goal. What a hit.
Yeah, I just said to the guys afterwards, Yuri's goal was like an old school FA Cup winning goal, but also Kasper Schmeichel's save. You know, those are the moments, the real special moments you need in games. But I thought overall, we were the better team. We pressed the game really well, super aggressive, tactically, and then we were always a threat with the ball. Chelsea are an amazing team. That's why they're in the Champions League final, but I thought today we deserved to win.
We know what this means to the fans, to the owners. What does this mean to you, Brendan?
It's very special. I've been lucky enough to have been in 6 finals before, and I've been lucky enough to win them. So today being the 7th was truly special, and it's the FA Cup, and as a British coach, it means so much to us. So yeah, so proud. But I'm more happy for everyone else.
I'm not meaning to put a dampener on your celebrations already, but of course you have to go again and play Chelsea again in midweek. So there's still some big games to be played in the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely. But the success of this team in this run is getting to positions like this and competing. The so-called the bigger clubs in the country are expected to win the trophies. For us, our success is competing. And if we can't perform like today, we can then go and win. But a monumental performance, and what a day for everyone involved in this.
I know Gary Lineker certainly enjoyed it. Thank you.
I hope he does. He's been a long time when he was a child, so hopefully be tears of happiness on the way up.
Yes, I think it will be. Thanks, Brendan.
Yes, I'm certainly will be tears of happiness. And as the supporters file away now, as Leicester make their way off the field, it's nearly time. It's almost time for us to go here to Wembley Stadium. But we need to get our breath back after what was an extraordinary cup final, an amazing cup final here at Wembley Stadium. I hope you've very much enjoyed our coverage of the 140th FA Cup final. And to leave you now, I'm going to play you a theme tune that you'll all recognise that certainly was a part of the FA Cup growing up. And to celebrate a massive cup shot, we're going to play you the grandstand theme to finish up. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage at Wembley. From all of us here, goodbye to you all. Good night. Leicester City, the winners of the FA Cup for the first time ever. As I say, I hope you've enjoyed the match. Have a fantastic evening and join us at 8:30 on Trevor Sports for Virtual Premier League. But until then, have a very good evening. Good night.